like pick your map. It's early in the season, you don't know, they might accidentally give you a freebie. So I don't think necessarily they did, because Ascent is a bit of a middling map for Fnatic, but Sunset is what I'm looking at here. Fnatic picking Sunset. The last time I remember seeing them play that, they weren't very good at it. So start of stage 2, getting some reps on that is going to be important for them.
They've had a bit of time to practice though, Pedro.
Yeah, of course, and I also think they are very strong on the defense side, Fnatic, so that's why they chose Team B. So I think it's good.
And also Fnatic chose to be quite evil in that veto because Haven statistically is the strongest map for Giant X, I believe, from stage 1. So Fnatic, they didn't come here to play, they came here to make enemies of Cloud from a team. Let's take it away.
Versus Giant X.
Well, the team announcement voice sounds like a serial killer, but who is going to serially die in the server today? Because Giant X, they are absolutely up against it. This is an uphill battle that this team didn't envision going into their first game of Stage 2. Unfortunately, playing with a stand-in, it's going to be very interesting to see if Giant X can put up a fight against Fnatic today, Minnie.
Yeah, and I think the goal for Fnatic is very clear. ENG is coming in with one goal, and that is to get to champions. I think that today they're playing against a team with a substitute, and that is just, we need to win this 2-0. I think if there's anything less from this Fnatic, then there's going to be some question marks in their future games.
And Petra, just looking at this team now, on the side of Fnatic, this is the first game that they're going to be playing with Cloud, with ENG. What do you think the conversation is between these guys?
The conversation, well, I think they're just going to focus on their own game and their own phase. I don't think they're going to change the phase. It's going to be...
I hope they do. I hope that they've added some new set strats. I hope they've added some explosivity. If I'm watching the Fnatic that look like the England team in the last 40 minutes of last night, then I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, the less said about that, the better. I think our teams have settled back in their Razer gaming chairs, backing every play they make on the server. On the side of Giant X, this is an emergency rebuild though. I don't think that they were anticipating losing Cloud and having to rebuild in the last couple of months without him. This is going to be their first time playing an official in quite some time, so the eye test and the pressure is going to be on them today. What we really want to see is a team that has a sense of identity though, because in the past, Minnie, Double Duelist has worked for these guys. What have we got here?
Yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about, but Giant X were good this stage 1 when they played Double Duelist. They were like 6-1 on maps, and they lost every single time they didn't play it. To see them coming out with Double Duelist right away, that is a great sign for me, especially on Ascent where you could argue that the KO is very strong. It looks like R and Jesse are going to be those two at the front going in with that Double Duelist. I love to see it. Fnatic, a bit boring.
Lại một duelist.
KO, seen it before. Any thoughts here, Petra?
No, it's pretty basic.
Cam à? Không bật cam thì sao?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty default. Yeah, nothing new.
Không bật
Do
cam
you
cho
really
cái
want
chất
to
KO rồi
reinvent
gì
the
đâu.
wheel on Ascent though?
I guess not. I think what I want to see from them, if they're going to play this bread and butter compositionally, I want to see some new set plays in the strategy. I want to see some new ideas, some new lineups. Just give me something new that I can work on.
Yeah, well, we're going to see right now because Mitchman and Tom are ready to get our first map underway.
Yes, indeed we are. What a matchup it is as well. Fnatic versus GX, but Tom, something we commented on there. It just looks weird seeing ENG in that jersey.
Glao bắn rôn nào á? Glao bắn đúng cái rôn này thôi. Ai đến
I'm hoping it goes well, otherwise I'll never want to see it
bắn
ever again. But
đúng cái rôn người đi để lại thôi.
It's an interesting matchup, firstly because this is the first time we're going to see the new look of Fnatic. Like, are they going to be that sort of world beater that the expectation always is? And then you also have GX, who would have wanted to come in today and go, yeah, let's show him. He left us, and now we're going to beat him. We got to stand in. That might be a little bit more difficult to do now. Because I think you have to bear in mind, let's go back to the last time Fnatic played against GX. You go, oh, 2-1. That's fairly close. Fnatic had Desmo playing. They beat them with Desmo.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to beat them when they have one of the better players of GX and GX have a stand-in. I'd say odds on.
I'm curious to see, though, Cloud, having been on that roster since we saw it there, since the beginning of partnership, but also now been leading that roster for quite a while, joining into Fnatic, joining their system.
Không thể chống lại, gửi quá mạnh anh em ơi.
Keep an eye on sort of how he
Gửi quá mạnh trong vùng bắn series của
whether he contributes or detracts from it. You know, an extra voice
Mẹ
could
nó
be
cái
an
tích 4
upside,
khẩu series phải
but
cay
it
vãi
also
luôn.
add to the cacophony for Fnatic, losing a player early on. It is Crash, he's down. Rotations towards the B site, confident that Alfier can stand his ground alone. He can't get out of there.
Gì
Stuck
đấy?
down below.
Ai
Has some
hỏi gì
trips
đấy?
in front to try to ease the blow of these attackers rushing in.
Not a whole lot of spots for him to play around. Maybe try and use that trip to help him out a little bit, but they are going to be looking to try and clear him, and it only going to be a dink, in fact, not even the kill. Boaster around the corner with the Sheriff, a couple of low players, but I think they've definitely heard him drop. Look to swarm
Không thể
together
thắng Python.
over on the GX side.
Không thể thắng
Leaves
Python
just
anh em nhá.
Cloud remaining. It'll be one hell of a way to kick off his debut versus X team. 1v5? No, absolutely nothing. Instead, it's an in-zone flawless, and Net to close out with a double on his first
Thua
round
Flawless.
in the EMEA.
So, you know, my concern when I look at Fnatic isn't that Cloud is going to come in and start, you know, counter-calling and undermining Boaster's leadership. That I
Con
don't,
mẹ nó
I
thực
won't
sự là
disrespect
Fnatic
Cloud
thủ
by
như đội tuyển Anh.
putting that
Fuck.
forward as a possibility. What I don't want to see, though,
Let's go, Flawless, yeah?
is somebody with his caliber and his expertise step back too much, be afraid to contribute too much into the system. And I think finding that balance of not over-calling, not having too loud a voice to drown the others out, but contributing to the system instead of just existing in it, I think that will be his challenge. Joining this, we're no doubt we will have many different ideas. For Fnatic, this one, the idea is to take an eco. Single pistol bought up onto Alfier. Other than that, Bandit, it is classics across the board. And what should be an easy enough follow-up. GX
Chắc
are
là
giving themselves
thua
a
nhanh
safety
rồi nhỉ anh em
net. They
nhỉ?
can lose a
Round này
player
thua
or
nhanh
two
thôi.
and still come out of this smelling the roses with the two sheriffs they've brought through. And I think the main thing here is they're just early
Anh em biết
on,
tại sao
trying to catch any
lại đang
aggression,
không có đèn
trying
không?
to figure out where the stack
Tại
is.
vì nhà bị
Late
mất
on,
điện.
with those
Tôi
disadvantages,
đang
you
dùng
really want to group up
tôi
and
đang
hit
dùng
this as
4G để
a block.
livestream. Nhà tôi đéo có 5G. Nhà tôi đéo ở trong vùng sóng của 5G.
Yeah, sure they've got a stand-in, but I was also expecting Net
Tôi đang phải dùng 4G để livestream. Nên là nếu anh em có thể hỗ trợ tôi để đóng tiền điện, vui lòng chấm than Zpex.
Although he normally was on something like a flash initiator, like a KO, because they have Cloud, who normally plays the Sova. So definitely interested to see how that works out for them going forward, but so far so good. Obviously, Fnatic hoping for a little bit of additional damage, drop some of those weapons. It was only pistols on the players they've lost so far. They can afford one more death.
Xạo gì anh em đùa? Điện thoại tôi dùng gói 4G Unlimited của Vietnam Mobile mà. Nên là tôi đang phải phát 4G cho máy tính đây.
From a run it back, even him dying is going to be worthwhile, but instead he grabs himself the kill nice and clean. Patience on display as GX reached 2. 4 players left alive. A lot of orbs towards Jesse. I think he's just one away from the run it back now. This is definitely about as good of a start as you can hope for on that attack side.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as well, obviously you're going to give the caveat over to TRjourd N that if this series doesn't go their way, there's obvious reasons why. For Fnatic, for me, this needs to be a statement victory. Like, you've had a lot of time, you've had preparation, you've got a new player who I think most people are excited about. You even seem to be maybe cleaning
Bật
up some of
PC
the
bằng
roles
sàng
as
dự
well
phòng á,
with
đúng
down
rồi.
the back on
PC đang chạy bằng
Senti.
sàng dự phòng mà. Hơi
Can't
mệt.
want this to be dominant.
And to be honest, if there's any team that you should be beating
Vãi rồi,
after
nó phi
picking
B
up
luôn.
Cloud, it is his ex
Ui, ui.
team that he was the IGL of.
Thằng
that you
Ara
beat
trông
last
con
time
cũng mượt cô.
for GX. Made it
Đây
to the
rồi.
site, but trouble getting anything done
Tốt.
there as it seems like they'll lose every single
Tốt thằng
fight,
béo.
at least to start, maybe to finish as
Tốt
well.
cái ắc.
Nets alone, barely a lick of
Ai
damage
luôn.
delivered.
Flawless.
Not bad.
As Fnatic find a flawless.
Yeah, another in-zone flawless. That's 2 in 3 rounds. In-zone definitely getting their money's worth already from VCT EMEA. But yeah, that was one way to shut me up for sure. It's just come in and immediately hold down that site like it was absolutely nothing, of course. We are going to see the buy back up into the next round, but incredibly comfortable from FNC in this round. But that's it. This is where we get the buy. This is where we get to run it back. We now look at Jesse with the potential.
Từ Lao sang Fnatic khi nào vậy à?
It's a caveat for him. This is a chance
Xong
to
còn để Ava anh
show what
something.
he's got. Make impact.
Dấu hiệu của một người chưa follow Facebook của tôi.
Maybe if someone else is looking at a roster move, they might think to get you.
Yeah, on the Phoenix of all, this is where we expect that impact. Rifle round for GX, full buy, and the execute about to come through. The run it back expected to be the tip of the spear. And there it is, activated. Cloud, the one left to try to slow them down, but he's got support.
Rồi Kayak làm 1, làm 2. Ăn được cả tái đấu. Net 1 máu. Easy.
It was the ultimate of Jesse taken down for the first, but the other two will not be coming back. And Fnatic find themselves in a 5v3.
Thật ra thì với những anh nào chưa biết câu chuyện của Cloud thì nó là như này. Trước trận này thì trong lúc mà hai team đang skirmish thì tự nhiên Fnatic phát hiện ra là bán mẹ Sivop cho Navi rồi. Ta bị thiếu người. Trong khi đấy thì VK chưa khỏe lại. Tự nhiên phải đi tìm một thằng thay thế. Xong tự nhiên thằng Cloud này đó hôm nay đi đến venue muộn anh em ạ. Thế là Fnatic bắt mẹ luôn. Thế là GX phải lấy thằng dự bị ra chơi. Thằng dự bị này thì đi mượn của bọn UCAM. Thế là bùm tự nhiên Cloud sang bên này chơi. Giống kiểu chia đối ấy. Em cứ ra sân bóng mà chia đối em.
Paranoia comes swinging in from backside. It's over. Your guy on site's blind. Everybody further back just got smoked off. Is naded. There's a trip in the way as well that the Phoenix ult might have wanted to do something about if Kayak hadn't come swinging in the second they tripped it. Clean as can be from Fnatic, and yet they did have 3 players on site. They had utility just go through as the push came in. The timing was perfect. I didn't even notice the stun from Kayak or the spam being that quick.
Sao nói vậy rồi anh em ơi? Anh em không tin tưởng thì đừng đồng hành.
Is taken down alongside. That is unlucky for GX to lose the second player to it, but at the end of the day, Fnatic were more than ready. You look at how quickly they pounced there. The trap was activated, and seconds later, GX's chances were dead.
Yeah, I think it's easy to
Đúng rồi, thằng Net này là đi xem đá bóng, đi xem Valorant tự nhiên bị bắt vào bắn luôn mà. Ồ, Netger đang đi du lịch châu Âu ấy. Anh biết mà, mấy anh em Mỹ mủng các kiểu hay có cái trò đi du lịch châu Âu vào giai đoạn kiểu tầm mùa hè này. Xong tự nhiên đéo sao cậu đang đi nghỉ dưỡng, cậu bị bắt vào bắn Valorant đời.
That's a pretty decent man to shut down the cast of the cursor. Clearly not gone anywhere. As I talked about how good he was, and he's immediately dead. The fact is, though, Fnatic are not giving up this space. They've done a hell of a lot of damage already onto Ara. And with the trade found from Alpha yet.
Potter hết năm nay nghỉ rồi đúng không à? Khả năng thì bao giờ anh 7 nghỉ thì Potter nghỉ anh em ạ. Chắc thằng già cũng sắp nghỉ rồi.
Numbers even, but weaponry and health certainly sitting comfortably in Fnatic's favor now. Ara spotted the trip. That's probably going to take a rotation off this A side. It should at least. And for GX, they're going to gamble on it. Spike starting to move back in this direction. Net clearing out the space. And then Jesse is sent to try to catch that rotation to find those players moving across. But no one's shown anything.
Don't be stupid.
Cái đá sắp ra nha.
And sat with 3 players on this A side. This is going to be frustrating for GX when they realize, but they're running into the numbers.
Ồ.
Okay, Ara's done well. Something more would be nice. Jesse also winning the fight. Now Crashy's left alone. Maybe this was the weaker of the site. The other one had Alpha Air on it. You know how good he could be. And now he has to try and find a clutch scenario. The last time I watched him play this map, he was unstoppable, but not this time. Good dart, good shot from Ara. And from a position of running into the site with 15 seconds left, they come out smelling the roses.
Yeah, 20 seconds, they're still on short. Just
Booty die.
making it through the tree. That definitely didn't look like it was going to go their way for a moment. And for Jesse, it started with that fight against
this
Kayak.
fight.
A great flash.
Ara has 30 health and wins the fight at long range with
straight to the bandit. It can win on range, it can do that damage, but it shouldn't have. And for Fnatic, they know that was a round that should have been theirs. But a cost paid now as GX maintain the lead, bringing it up 3-2. An operator for Fnatic. This is going to be an attempt to change things around mid early. You can see Kayak is in a spot that he can't get much done from. And now the pressure's on for Boaster. They're going to dump utility just because of that pressure put on him. This is great for GX. They've traded out a recon for a nade and a paranoia. And map control. Although they have to confirm that with the hot hands.
Another orb for Jesse. That will now leave him one away. And this is quite a common strategy we see throughout. Early control towards A, claim an orb, have your lurker spot for any aggression, and then maybe go back and get the other orb if it's still there, which obviously they'll have the information of. So it gives an opportunity to basically get Jesse 2 free orbs every single round and get that ultimate on rapidly.
Well, yeah, as you say, 2 orbs here is going to be enough for Jesse to have the run it back. Fnatic's setup towards this B site will be tested. Kayak with the operators on the other side of the map. He's waiting for them to walk up short, but they are coming nowhere near it. In fact, they're going straight into the B site.
Get out of my way.
Where Fnatic have already turtled, play back towards the boathouse. Ara making his way up close. He's about to be challenged by Alpha. The second player sitting back wasn't expected, but only gets the one for GX. Plan now guaranteed, and Net looked to get so much more. Still, one should be good enough.
Gotta be careful of the reveal, but nobody going down to it. Operator retrieve, nice spam from Cloud. That makes it interesting now. Into a 2v2. Flickless up close, but he's instant with the shot. Expecting a swing was Kayak trying to watch for the next player, but instead a reposition leaves Kayak in what seems now like an unlikely scenario. He'd need a mistake. That operator holds a lot more value. And I wonder if there's going to be a swing just to put him down. Nice close from Flickless. And a 4-2 lead now for GX. We said that we wanted a statement victory for Fnatic, and thus far, sure, their 2 rounds have been statements. 0 players dying. But the other 4, not so much.
I guess this is the problem though. Like when
team
you
này thật sự giặc chứ anh em. Tôi cảm giác trong người team này bắn như kiểu xem.
Players will have years of experience coming up against. You don't really have the option to surprise them at all, and that is kind of what you expect when it comes to
nói nhưng mà
but
kiểu
the added
nhìn team này
flair
bắn
for
trông giống như
GX
xem
and
một
having
team China
that
bắn.
Phoenix even alone, we've seen how much it can chop and change how a map is played. And here on the attack side, it's making a huge difference. They didn't even use the biggest strength of this composition, having the run it back. It wasn't online on the push into the site.
They didn't bother.
But this time, it is online right off rip. And this is a crucial round for Fnatic. They've put all their credits into it. Lose this, and GX take a good lead and turn it into a great one.
The setup has switched.
Đúng rồi, Rubinho ban luôn anh em ơi.
That A site now, and basically just playing info from Crashies. A few ults very close to being online as well for Fnatic, so it's going to be a swing round based on economy, as you said, but also based on those ultimates. An early rotation, leaving Alfia a little bit more alone, but not a whole lot being given over by GX. They're playing very passively, rotating around the back of the map, so they're not being caught by darts, they're not being caught by knives, so it's very difficult using all of those initiators plus Senti to actually get anything. They don't know right now.
Well, that's it. They're hoping on this attack side that Fnatic get impatient and move forward, look for information. When they don't, fine, we'll push with 30 seconds left because we've got to run it back to work with. They can break through this defense, and they've done just that already, making it to the site. Still, that trip's going to be up. Alpha's managed to shut down Jesse's ult, but the spike is on site. It should be planned soon, but that's it down. Now it's on Ara to plant the spike with 7 seconds. He has to have bodyguards, but he will be defended just long enough. Boaster slipped through. Managed to leave it down to just west side. Then the herd and deal with the last as well. A big round from Boaster. Fnatic desperately needed this.
Yeah, no, he'd been very quiet individually, and I think that's one of the biggest critiques that always seems to come his way is when he's not fragging and you see him lower on the board. But this was an important round for them, and I think the little bit of panic that was caused by Althea dropping the spike definitely gave them a little bit of additional space, allowed him to get back into the site in general, but also just maneuver around the back. Baby. And wow, he's even got Hype Man Cloud ready to go. Third round for Fnatic. 4 ultimates for them to play with as well. I said it was crunch time in terms of ults, but actually Fnatic didn't really use any of theirs.
Careful now. Indeed, it felt like a big round for GX. But it doesn't work out now. Much more pacey attack. They're already in the A side. Hunter's Fury going to be activated. Good tags. That's a double. The damage onto one more. That's huge. Flickless and West Side tagged heavy. Ara not too healthy either. Yeah, they'll get the site, but they are way behind in these fights. Fnatic, though, will bide their time in going for this retake.
Cái đèn đánh nền của tôi thì nó kêu vãi luôn anh em ạ.
That's huge for Ned.
Tắt like cho anh công anh tắt like à? Đây đợi tí.
HP still favored. And now Cloud's caught another, and that gives him his ultimate. They still haven't managed to get themselves into a post plant just yet. They're looking for a way back into the round, hoping that someone gifts it to them, hoping for a mistake. But as you sort of mentioned, both teams have been happy to be patient. Instead, though, it's the defense that looks to make a move. No plant to be had. Net revealed and left out in the cold. Well, Althea looks to give him a warm hug.
Yeah, Cloud just entered full BS mode there. That's 2 players. The second was revealed, at least. I'll give him that. The first, I don't believe, was. He just shot him straight through. Yeah, look at that. That's ridiculous. The second was revealed, you know, so it's not as impressive, but 2 in 1 round, straight through that floor. It doesn't feel good to be GX in a moment like that.
Even the second one wasn't the immediate reveal. He waited. The guy could have moved. He just went, yep, there.
This goes here. This goes here.
Oh, you'd love to have those kind of rounds.
Yeah, as a wise man once said, wallbang. 4 to 4. This is where the economy now hits the ground for GX. And unfortunately, they don't have any of those ultimates to pad the gap either. Expectation is this will be where the economy can grow a little bit for Fnatic, and with Althea, Kayak, and well, I've given Althea a kill before he's actually got it, but I just assumed he would get Ara, but I was wrong. My bad.
Very wrong.
Sorry, I'm just gonna go sit in the corner.
About as wrong as you could be. Now GX with a chance to take the A side. Cloud still watching the
cover going out.
Now GX in with a chance to take the A site as Cloud is out of the round, and the plant should be found. What should have been Ara dead in the dirt. In fact, in Tom's mind, it already was. Now it's Ara in with a chance for a very late lurk. Oh my goodness, the door is wide open. This man should have been a dead man walking, a corpse.
They're gonna push them back.
But he's still breathing. They're buying time. This is Ara's moment to strike.
What the fuck?
He'll get him eventually. A bit of showmanship, and his time's out. Oh, God. It's a horrible round for Ara. But he should have been dead before he got anything. 2, and he's given them a chance, an opportunity. Oh, my goodness, it's messy. But Net got there in the end. Flickless, last man standing. The spike needs to be defused. The one-way smoke gives him a chance to strike from the side to pull Crashies off the defuse. And now all he has to do is run that clock down. Crashies, 4 kills, but it is not enough as GX make it to 5.
I'm still sat in the corner.
See,
it's the motor thrifty, you know. I'm sorry, Althea. I said you had the kill.
I'm gonna say you cost them that round, Tom. That is on you.
Maybe.
You in this very game 2 rounds ago, you said the castle curse is real.
Can we stop? Because I'm gonna end up getting blocked by Fnatic again. Again.
Oh, they unblocked you.
They did unblock me.
That was quite kind.
Yeah, Devad found some kindness in his heart, and then
you got a second chance, and you learned nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened in that round. It's one that, you know, Fnatic fans always have to live on the edge with supporting their team. I think that tipped me over the edge a little bit. You said it was a messy round, and honestly, I've had enough of messy. I didn't want to see anything more, but, you know.
What a day it was.
Which one, today or yesterday? I'm unhappy with both.
Yesterday for me, but for Fnatic today might be a day to remember. They managed to recover this, put themselves back to winning ways, and if they don't, it certainly will be one to remember.
3B rồi, 4B rồi.
Looking to equalize, great flash through from Cloud. The paranoia might buy a little bit of time, but Flickless, he's on borrowed time. 14 HP. Not long for this world. The entirety of GX with a round win for Fnatic. We're back to neck and neck.
What I am enjoying from this game so far, though, is seeing, firstly, Cloud incredibly happy.
Yeah.
I'll say the fact that the second he signed, he was doing TikTok dances, kind of gave me everything I need to know about how he was going to be in this squad. But I think also, like we talked about, like, okay, maybe he can second call, maybe he can give additional thing. The other fun thing about him in this team is he doesn't have to do any of that. He could just shoot, which if you go back to his days on Na'Vi, which some of you would be like, Cloud on Na'Vi, blowing your mind. He was like an aggressive duelist player.
Em cứ cập nhật ở trên Facebook của tôi là có đủ mà.
And I want to see more of that. I want to see more of what he can do, just having fun and being more aggressive. We've seen that throughout, nonetheless.
Anh Tumi cho em hỏi, nếu em đeo mấy cái tai nghe chụp tai to to nó cứ bùng búng mà kể cả giọng văn nhẹ lắm rồi, nhưng khoảng 15-20 phút lại thấy nó nặng vướng nóng thì nên chuyển sang gì á, chuyển sang IEM thôi.
I want to talk about this guy because I'm intrigued with how this roster is moving. Obviously, bringing in a young Turkish star who you kind of maybe expect to be taking up the secondary duelist. Is this Agent Paul going to thin back out into just Sentinels again? Because I think he's a fantastic Sentinel player. But I did really like him on Phoenix.
Yeah, look, I agree with you there. I think his Phoenix was phenomenal. At the same time, I'm fine if he's able to fully focus on just playing the Sentinel. I think now as well as we move towards, and I think the future will see more of it, us moving towards this Sentinel diversity, this is a man that I want to see him committed to that role. Committed to our role, actually. I don't mind if it's the Phoenix. I don't mind if we're having a duelist arc, but Westside's Sentinel, Westside's Viper, sensational. And it's just because he's so reliable on his own. He makes great decisions, and when he takes risks, he can back them up almost every time. He's a guy that knows his limits and plays to them. So I really enjoy watching him play. But for Fnatic, looking for 6, looking for the lead at last, and it will be a big burst towards this A side. I'm not sure they're ready for it, especially not with the ult leading the way, but the paranoia will at least buy them time. Great wall by Jesse, and he's through! The flash doesn't buy him enough time, though! The Blade Storm from Arrow only gets 1, and Fnatic have weathered the storm.
Able to low buy for GX, so obviously I was going into this round thinking they were going to win it. But, you know, not this time. Leaves just Jesse. Trying to find four, and Cloud really is just having a field day now. A bit of a slower start for him alongside Boaster, but both have had a comeback since at a deficit.
Tôi nghĩ đấy cũng là một điểm mạnh nhưng mà chúng ta nói đến Cloud đúng không? Nhưng mà bắn nhau rất là tốt.
One of the things that you can see with a new IGL and a stand-in player is maybe the attack side don't look so bad because you just go, we're going to do this, I need you to do this. And that is the round. That's what you attempt. I think on defense, having that same level of synergy, at least in my eyes, is a little bit more difficult. I think it does depend on the team. But especially when you're playing defensive side Phoenix, that's where I really want to see if Jesse's still going to be able to have the fairly decent performance he is currently having.
Well, yeah, instead of calling your playbook, you're countering theirs when you swap sides. It does definitely make a big difference. And for GX, a test that they will be taking. The question is whether it's on stable, even ground, or whether the high ground relies on Fnatic or sits
Cho
with
em
Fnatic.
xin
They're
con
spread
AM
out.
nào tầm khoảng 1m5,
To start
2m5
this round, the
với à?
defensive side, they're
Chút
taking a
Innova
lane
với tất
each
cả những anh
and
em
waiting.
đang chơi
It's not what I
Valorant
expect to
cũng
see
như
out of the
là
last
nghe
round.
nhạc
In all
vui
honesty,
vẻ.
no real
Tôi
information.
có hai
Kayak sitting
sự lựa chọn
passively
dành
in
cho anh
line.
em.
They don't even spot
Một
them on
là
short until
chút
they get
Innova,
around the corner. It means the
hai
rotations come in
là
much slower yet
Super Mix
still.
4.
GX are
Nếu anh
moving
em
towards
kiếm
the
được
site
deal.
with 2 players boathouse and containment there for
Đấy,
Cloud.
hai sự lựa chọn này tôi nghĩ là khá vui vẻ rồi.
Aaron's trying to make his way through. In fact, they're all trying to make their way through. They're chasing them down.
Ui, Buster không đổ được hơn.
Teammate.
Thế là coi như Cloud là chết rồi đấy.
Will keep things even and Crashies isn't done. This has turned into a game of deathmatch.
Toàn chỉ đổi được một đấy nhở.
Cloud's gonna be brought
Đừng
back.
Cloud, đừng ra đi mà.
She is
Fuck.
not.
Cloud is gone,
Come
bro.
down to 1 versus 1. Kayak versus Net. New Boy versus Staple. All popped.
Bro, 6 bullet, bro.
Maybe just trying to force
Fuck are you on, bro?
Net to take a risk. The overdrive will fade. It doesn't seem like Kayak, at least for now, has the idea of where Net has gone. Trying to figure this one out. Only one angle left to clear, but he's run out of bullets in the
Bro!
He's gone in with
Just
no
fucking
ammo.
reload, bro!
It's a Red Bull clutch for Net. Well, it's going to be the half done in the favor of no one. It's even.
Neck and neck at the half as we see Cloud taking on his former teammates. And for now, there's no way to separate them. You think he's got the blueprints, he knows his way around the house. Well, we'll find out if he does after the break. Before that, though, or during that, let's have a listen in to what he had to say ahead of this match.
Vãi lồn bro, thực sự nghĩ mình là mẹ mày e-boy ở lúc 4 giờ sáng ở trong mẹ mày server Valorant Việt Nam ạ. Fuck!
So what's it like now being in a Fnatic jersey?
It's great, to be honest. I don't think much people expected this, even me, but it feels great.
So you were not expecting the call from Fnatic. Talk us through it.
I mean, it's the end of the season. I didn't expect they would have some problems with the players and stuff like this, like hell, but yeah. But
was it a difficult decision?
Not really.
Yeah, because
really.
It's Fnatic, right? Everyone dreams of playing for Fnatic.
I mean, it's not only because of Fnatic, it's because of the players that are in Fnatic, you know? I would like to go there and get experience from them, share mine, and they would share with me and stuff like this. So I think it's mostly because of that.
What have you learned so far?
I mean, many small things, details, how they think in the game, like what approach they do on scrims and stuff like this. It's completely different. I would say, I think every team has like different approach on the scrims, on the game days, and
tin vui là map này ra đến Xpic.
And everyone's kind of learning.
Tin buồn là bàn mới ra đến X có
stand-in
mà hòa 6 đều.
Em
nếu biết nói gì nữa anh Tùng ơi.
He's just helping the team to grow and be better with each day.
7 lít anh em cho xin một like đi. Xem cái đội tăng sông quá.
A lot and the whole system and stuff like this. He's just helping and yeah, helping players, helping Jake, kinda.
One last quick thing. You're going to be sat looking at your ex-teammates in the eye. How do you feel about that?
No, I won't be sad. I played so many times, like against my best friends, against my friends. I think it's just like on the server we're enemies, you know? But outside of the server, we're still good friends.
Oh, enemies to friends and back again. Good luck today, Cloud.
Thank you.
Well, good to see that Cloud, he's not fazed by facing his former teammates. As we said, a little peek behind the curtain for him, having an idea of how they like to prepare and how they like to play. We'll see if that makes a difference in the second half. Now GX on the defensive side, and this is really where the big test for a squad like this with the stand-in is expected to be.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And I think always going up against Fnatic when it comes to those attack side calls, it can be relatively difficult. And, well, maybe the calls don't mean anything. We're going into the comms.
Guys. The mid link. They're holding right now.
Yeah, I'm going into aim, bro.
Mid plate, boys. I'm just gonna find middle.
Wait, probably do the same as us, no? Could be towards B.
Yeah. Nothing A. Yeah, nothing A.
Yeah.
On one body.
Fuck B. Blind.
Yeah, coming.
One middle. One middle. Market. I'll call planner.
Well, it's been a tough round for GX so far.
Yeah.
Unable to find their footing, picked
It was
apart.
a tough first 5 seconds.
Yeah, indeed. And Kayak finding that double. Was it collateral or a double? It's collat, right?
I'll be honest, it was so fast I don't even know.
Well, they're even lined up on the mini-map. X marks the spot where this round fell apart for GX. And now finally, it comes to its end. An in-zone flawless for Fnatic to take the lead.
Yeah, that was one hell of a way to start out their attack side. And there we go. Yeah, it was a collide. It was 2 bullet shot, but a little bit of tickle damage and then just a lovely little shot connected moments later. A very clean pistol coming in for the Fnatic side. Of course, they did lose the last one in the last half.
Yes,
but I do sit here and go again.
That's everybody. Legendary.
I think the expectation is for Fnatic to win this game. We're kind of looking at how cleanly they're able to do it.
I love that yes, baby from Boaster. Real Austin Powers energy. That's the vibe he gives off anyways.
Is the glasses giving that off as well?
It is. It is. It's a whole package piece. It's GX. Finding 2 right off rip, and well, Fnatic not going to be all too happy about how this one started out. GX find themselves a
What's
rifle.
going on?
Net wins a fight on range. And, well, the road to recovery for Fnatic now. 2 rifles for them, 2 for their opponents. Double the manpower on that defensive side. And they're not even going to risk taking the extra rifle, it seems.
All right, with how they've been playing with the classics, it doesn't look like they need it. Those were clean fights, great setup, great early flashes as well. The last 2, Alfia and Cloud.
Who's the sheriff?
As they look to push back through. First one goes their way, but Jesse is on fire. Another couple to close out. 3 players standing. And correct me if I'm wrong, because maybe I'm wrong. That was 5 classics.
Yeah. Yeah, it was getting the kills at least, it was.
And they got on a mode of Thrifty off of 5 classics.
Just a full A main push. Not being caught. There was a reveal sent through, but it went to Narnia, mate. They're clearing the line with the reveal.
I will say the dart on the other side, very nice.
Yeah, but for Fnatic, that's such a weird set of priorities, and I think they just got ahead of themselves a little bit there. They gave GX, or assumed GX would have some respect for them. They're looking to see if there's a little ratty spot, a little trap being set up. They didn't expect the full-on aggression. And that gives GX now a chance to equalize, keep this even. Good damage early onto Alpha. The idea there was just to break a trip, but instead they've done a lot of damage to that man and left him 1 shot to an outlaw. Not that it matters. Weapon on the floor, Ara down, and now pressure applied back from Fnatic. The low buys are dangerous so far in this game. Net blinded up, will be dealt with. The trades coming in favor of the attacking side. West side caught in the corner. He's down on 20 HP. He'll be traded out as well.
Winnable.
The GX, a little taste of their own medicine. They're in a 2v3.
Oh, an opportunity for Jesse.
Going up.
A lot of damage taken.
Doesn't even get the heal.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think he put it a little bit further than he meant, but there you go, he's got the heal now. Shock dart. Looked like it could have cleared him, and the second one almost does. That extra heal was kept him alive, but they don't expect
Đéo hiểu sao thắng, nhưng mà thôi, ok, I take it, bro. I take it.
Welcome back, Fnatic fans. Welcome back, GX fans. We are right in the thick of it again. Who's feeling
Chúng ta cần phải
happy?
bình tĩnh lại.
Khi
xem trận này anh em ạ. We
We
need to take a chill. Alright? I really think we need to chill a little
It's the
bit.
second time now we've seen Kayak in this game, in this map alone, swing out from a smoke and catch GX looking completely the other
Đéo
way.
hiểu sao
It's
thắng,
gonna be annoying
nhưng đồng
to see
thời
him have that much
cũng
success.
đéo hiểu sao
Other than
thua.
that, though, he has been kind of shut down. Like, I think GX have been doing the hard work in a lot of these rounds. Them falling over at the basics. Anti-Eco lost. Them left down to a very mixed buy, but one where they've got to run it back, and frankly, I don't know what to expect.
Oh. Flash out. Ooh, that one's not quite gone far enough. Fight's really not pretty, but, you know, Fnatic are getting the job done. Finally, it looks like the team with the buy might be about to win the round. You never know. Maybe West Side's about to 1v5 while they have the spike down on the other side of the map.
Even then, I think they win this round. because of a
Good orb management.
couple of centimeters at best saved them there. Like the fact of Jesse blinding himself on short, kind of giving away the game just a little bit. If he was an inch forward,
Con vợ Winter nha.
goes around the corner. The two players are fully blind as they were. And then they can actually pounce on them. And that, I think, might have turned the round into favor for GX. Instead, it staggered the push. It left the guys on mid getting shredded without any pressure applied behind. And Fnatic are easily able to recover on what is ultimately a rush where they tripped over themselves.
Anh Tumi ơi, EMEA đang bắn phiên bản nào á?
Might even be impossible. He is being
Không phải bản mới nhất.
is surrounded already. He has to fight at least one more player before he's scot free.
Cứ biết là không phải bản mới nhất là được.
To fight that together. Crashies can't swing in time, but
Đừng cố nó Westside ơi, mày không phải là siêu sao đâu.
And look, all of the issues of this map can be forgotten if they recover it from this point forward.
Which team's that?
We didn't need to show that, did we? Well, really, that's both teams, but I'm more so speaking about Fnatic is coming in. It would be kind of a disgrace for them to change.
Kết phải nói nhưng mà một người đang bắn tốt ở trong trận này là Booster anh em ạ.
Fixed roster be to take the IGL of another team, then see that other team come in with a stand-in as well, and then beat you. I think
không kỳ vọng là đấy là điều sẽ xảy ra, nhưng mà nó đang là như vậy.
It's got me feeling a little bit nervous.
If they dominate map 2, you know, we could be like, oh, it was GX's map pick, and it was a slow start. You know, it's Fnatic slow starts. That's what they do. We can still get out of this slow start
at the beginning of the year.
Em biết là có điều gì nó đang khiến cho tôi rất là khó chịu, nhưng mà thực sự thì cái đấy anh em đéo thể nào nghe thấy được không? Đây chính là việc cái đèn đằng sau lưng tôi ấy. Nó là một cái đèn LED và nó có tản nhiệt của nó. Vấn đề ở chỗ là cái tản nhiệt đấy đang kêu vãi lồn, mà đéo hiểu sao thằng Ara bắn trên nào bây giờ.
Resurgence from Fnatic. The site secured, but the spam's doing damage. It's Kayak who's picking up all the pieces. One more on offer, but Ara's giving nothing away.
Don't be stupid. Phụng Đặng vừa supply nha.
Versus old team. Two of his old teammates. And Jesse. And they're gonna ult. They're going to just try and make sure they get this over the line, but he's managed to bypass. They're going to be careful. They're going to defend, and while Jesse comes back to defend the exact position he was about to disappear and go back to, it will be the defusal. It will be an 8th round and a response from Giant X. They are definitely not letting this one go without a fight. And honestly, like, yeah, sure, there's been some scrappy, messy rounds. I can forgive them for that with all the circumstances they're coming in with, but honestly, at least on individual levels, I think Jesse's looked very good. Yeah. I think other than that singular flash, I actually think his flashes have been good throughout the map so far. That was more of a rare mistake rather than the norm. And especially with him not necessarily playing Duelist all too often, I believe he normally plays smokes.
Yeah, the one flash was
funny. Có cái mùa nào cho áo cam champion không á? Cứ bắn tốt ở stage 2 là được mà.
Well, let's see how Fnatic deal with this. Chance to push
Điểm
up to
stage 1
double
thì
digits.
cũng có rồi.
She can't dash, boys. I'm gonna blind him. Ready? Blinding. Lane. On the right.
Hai lồn tràn mid chết luôn.
Jocking him. Just hold. Zero. I can see his foot.
Ôi, đợi Butter kéo cái khẩu ngắm đi lâu quá luôn.
Bro.
Chết mẹ hết rồi.
Maybe I could just put cage in front of me, bro.
I should have blinded you. I was throwing a smoke.
No shit, Sherlock.
Fortunate.
Waves crashing against the coast there for Fnatic. GX stands strong.
Em chưa hiểu tính điểm, Fnatic còn thiếu nhiều điểm đi Sam không á?
At this point, it's a solid response from the squad, and for GX, like we said, coming into this matchup, having lost their IGL to Fnatic, and having to play with a stand-in on top of that. And then when you look at the roster that they've got, the very many overlapping and, dare I say, conflicting roles, for them to come in and make this a close matchup is already a danger that Fnatic do not want to deal with coming into this season. But now they're neck and neck towards the end of the map, and the chance of them winning starting to look less like a dream and more like a potential reality.
10 seconds left.
Oh, for sure. I thought after losing the pistol, winning the second, and then losing the third, that maybe that would boom them at least a little bit, but no. Looking very comfortable, and 9-9. on that defensive side, which we normally talk about being the favored within this map. I am starting to worry a little bit for Fnatic, and it seems like they are as well. They're going to be calling a pause coming out of this one, giving an opportunity to ENG to try and talk this one over. And obviously, something that's going to be new for him and for Cloud is coming into this roster, not hearing Pipson on the other side of the line. And here's a man that I will say, we've talked about a lot throughout this series. I really do want to see when he gets into the flow of things, if we could see some of the high individual level we've had from him in the past, because that is one of the nice things about him in this roster. We know that he's still someone that has that individual brilliance, individual talent. And if he doesn't have to call anymore, how much does that level go up? It's genuinely a perfect litmus test.
Well, see, that was always my issue, seeing Cloud continuously put on that GX roster when they needed him to be in IGL, when they decided to push him into that role.
Thì có xem khai bạc VCT EMEA không á? Có chứ, xem trận Leviathan mà. Đây đang muốn hỏi anh em Kinh Chất là anh em có muốn xem trận 2 không?
The level that he puts forward or used to put forward.
Trận 2
là
gì nhỉ? M8 với cả M8 với cả gì nhỉ? M8 với cả Pacific Esports. Không biết anh em muốn xem không?
With a competent IGL, not that he isn't, but having him under one, I think his ceiling is higher. And this is an opportunity for us to see that under one of the most storied IGLs in this game. And as long as he doesn't come in like Melkor singing Ninor's tune, we should be in a position where they can harmonize and find a flow that maybe Fnatic haven't seen so far. As again, like, I don't doubt his ability as a mind for this game. But I want to see Cloud evolve. And this is the best chance we've had to see it.
Ara definitely not shying away from a fight. Again, they have this sort of contact with the flash.
Sao hôm nay lại có NV anh Tùng? Trận 4 giờ là ấy mà. 4 giờ là Leviathan Furia mà, mai mới có NV.
Slowed them down, but he's got to be careful from the backline. Has support from Net though. The Odin on the cross needs to do a whole lot more, and Alfia has been able to shut him down. Cloud taking that space towards the site, and Ara is here already, with Westside finding one as well. He's hoping to get something with the blades.
A good chance. But a mistake needs to be made. Cloud, the one to offer himself up, but it won't be much found for GX.
Trông vất vả lắm anh em ạ, thực sự đấy.
Looking more focused coming out of the pause.
Yeah, I like the investment into that operator. Just play that little more contacty. You know that they've had these little trap setups with flashes, so if you can just hit that shot fast enough, everything else becomes irrelevant. And then having that passive position from Boaster to be able to catch them as they look to try and flee away from the scene. It's a nice little 1-2 punch that gives them their 10th round. But this is where it's not really going to do too much damage to the economy. Abai is coming back.
It's worth mentioning, he is one of my favorite players, so I feel comfortable to say this. Flickless is having a hell of a bad game. One of the worst we've seen from him. This is his 3rd time ever playing the Omen, and I really think it's showing. I think this is what we talk about for GX, having that stand-in, having the overlapping roles. Somebody has to lose, and for now it looks like the loser is Flickless.
This is an interesting spot to see a defender in.
3rd time playing Omen, as I said.
I've seen maybe a Jet up there every once in a while. I don't know if I've seen an Omen up there before, but hey,
he's enjoying
his position. It's also, well, we used to have a nickname for that, but...
Đồng ý là chúng mày bắn hay đấy Fnatic ơi, nhưng mà kiểu không cần phải cố bắt nó đâu ấy. Trong cái map mẹ mình đeo chiếm được một cái tí diện tích nào của map. Chết mẹ mất thằng Cloud rồi. Đéo hiểu tại sao lại phải retake mid. What in the actual fuck?
Boaster could have completely recovered the round there instead. Alpha's all alone. 5 to take on. 1 taken down for free, but now this should become impossible.
Everybody's getting revealed, but I feel like everybody kind of knows where each other are at this point, and with 12 seconds left, the defenders don't really need to push this, but I feel like it almost wants to be just a shutdown of Alfia. I'll say the fact that in those early fights they
Làm
sent
cái điều
that
gì
many
nhở?
players mid, and they don't lose anybody until the last couple of fights of the round. I know it was a question on the desk about who's calling. I know that GX said that it was Net. If this is going to be Net's calling style throughout EMEA, I'm really excited. Because think about the eco round where he's super aggressive outside A. These are bold calls. These are risky calls.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's quite nice to see someone who's a little bit ballsy with what they're doing on the defense.
Well, you have Fnatic coming in with 2 IGLs and the most boring comp we've seen. And then you have GX with stand-in and ideas. And it seems like one of those is stronger as a system than the other, at least for now. Again, Fnatic with these big changes, there is going to be an element of them finding their feet, finding their footing, but a big slip early on against a team that's in the very same position, a worse position, arguably. I don't even think that's arguable, definitively. Yeah, I think you have to give props to Net. As we said, taking the assumption that what GX tweeted out is gospel. You never know, but
could have changed since then.
He'll definitely be someone that has a lot of interest. I think already, this has already been a fantastic battle for this squad. The second half started terribly. You win the pistol, lose the follow-ups. Usually that's where you see the team just teeter out completely. But they've recovered now again to double digits, and the pressure's on. Fnatic lose this round, which they should. It'll be the lead over to GX and a chance to win one buy round and at least guarantee an OT.
Pressure onto Ara. Kind of expecting to maybe get one and get out. The reveal is solid, and while it acts as a distraction, nice shot from Cloud once again. He does not want to taste defeat against his previous organization. Wow, Alfia's backstab is something that they're very wary of. Just bear in mind, though, that Flickless is already pretty low. A single bullet could just take him down, and well, it may have taken a couple, but even still, they got rid of him. Crashies has done the same. This is not looking pretty.
Đéo hiểu sao thắng mà đéo hiểu tại sao lại thua.
He needs to find 3 players with an Odin from a position where I don't think that's possible.
Oh, well, there's a few spam angles open, but
Spangles?
Saving, I'm not sure about that one. Saving is the way to go for Net. Alfia's already made that realization, and he will get here in time to cut off the angle. Net has to fight. Never mind. Net does not have to fight to carry this weapon forward. They think he's already long gone. So he will be safely tucked away to close this round out. 11, though, for Fnatic. And, well, like I said, that was a round I very much expected GX to walk away with. Their opponents at next to nothing. And yet an emotive Thrifty is going to be found. And look, great work by Cloud as well. That spam through was deadly, but I have to say, honestly amazed. Even from that point, I didn't expect Fnatic to have.
Muốn thắng là thắng, muốn thua là thua, chỉ có thể là.
Oh, we've seen a few.
Có thể là gì hả anh em?
Motor Thrifties already. The low buys, the more direct
Chỉ
plays.
có thể là
With a couple of spots, looking a little bit more one and done. I think that's been
comeback trước tưởng qua là Vi á,
Stand-in
thôi anh em ơi.
do have a bite. Operator still in hand.
Anh em phải phân biệt rõ bản hợp đồng nào nó là stand-in,
no ultimates available.
hợp đồng nào nó là permanent.
Well, other than the
tất cả những cái chi tiết đấy thì đều đã được cập nhật và đầy đủ ở trên kênh BLV Tumi rồi anh em ạ. Cậu làm 2.
And Aaron now needs a lot from this position.
Yeah, with an AWP as well. Finding one, getting back to cover won't be easy, and the numbers on their side thinning out. Support won't be there.
Alpha làm 3 tức là thắng rồi đúng không anh em?
And he misses the first. That should be it. He is dead to rights, leaving only West side. And what should have been a lead guaranteed for GX and a chance to at least lock in an overtime. And now it's the exact same for their opposition. The shoe on the other foot. Fnatic 12-10. Again, I don't even think Westside's going to attempt this, especially picking up the Odin. It's time to just run and save.
No, it is worth keeping that extra weapon over into the next round, although it's not going to leave them with a particularly pretty purchase.
LUπαιNG nhanh nha.
They've been able to stabilize a little bit towards the end of this map. But even still, GX will look to try and
đổi tiêu đề ở
take
Twitch
us
đi à?
to an
Ở
overtime,
đây để
which
tôi
again,
đổi tiêu đề
given
ở
the
bên Twitch anh em.
circumstances, I think expectations would be that they should get blasted out of this server, and I'm pretty sure that was my expectations going into this game. But being close, maybe a good sign going forward, but obviously the goal for everybody at this stage is to get those points onto the board, look to try and make your way through to that playoff stage. Because of course, this is probably the most important group stage because you got points for champions, massively important. But also, if you finish in those top two, you skip the whole play-in. And we've been looking at the teams that are in the play-ins, the likes of an Enterprise or even a... Well, there's plenty. You've got the Turkish squad, you've got Frankfurt, they're going to be waiting for you as well. I think those teams are going to be tough to beat, especially if they could just sit here and watch what you've been doing for multiple weeks.
Well, that's it, yeah. They're always going to have the tape on you. And for Fnatic,
một cái anh em đang xem ơi, anh em có thể cho mình xin một like không anh em? Thank you anh em nhiều. Đợt này kênh đang hơi chững anh em ạ. Hôm qua thì lúc mà không phải là hôm qua mà là lúc chiều ấy, Fuco nó cũng bảo là muốn đầu tư khoảng tầm 3-4M để làm giveaway lắm, giveaway cho anh em, có thể là chuột gaming, có thể là cái gì đó, bàn phím hay là gì đấy. Mình đang suggest là làm đôi con chuột gaming anh em ạ. Đấy. Thì hy vọng là anh em để lan tỏa một tí để mình sớm được làm chương trình giveaway.
I'm used to seeing him opposite. Nice one, Captain Cal. Corruption of the LFC caught the Melkor earlier. Love to see it. 12-10.
Is that from Star Wars?
Còn SH thì sao á? Vẫn có SH mà anh em. Sắp tới nó phải nói thật, nó là gọi là mega giveaway chứ đéo phải là big giveaway nữa anh em ạ.
Look, I like it towards the A side. Again though, you're missing a lot of information to start this out, and a slow pace from Fnatic, watching for aggression. That's a normal way. When you run out of that early utility and you're sat back like this, positioned in these tiny corners, waiting to spring traps. Again, this Cypher setup across the map, you're looking to pounce on both of those. I like it, but it does mean that if Fnatic decide to group up and hit, it's a gamble whether you've got the players in the right places. But hey, this is the time for a gamble as well, and so far we've seen GX.
Mình biết chỗ nào mua Artisan Zero Cam XXL uy tín không, giới thiệu với á. Màu đấy hình như hơi khó nhưng mà XXL là size 50 vậy. Size vuông hơi khó. Nhưng mà liên hệ ở trên, nếu anh em có ở trong mấy cái group Gaming Gear Second Hand ấy, ở trên này có một ông anh tên là Hiếu Nguyễn, không giấu, đến từ Hải Dương. Đấy. Anh em cứ check profile, đúng một ông anh như thế. Thì đấy là một ông anh chuyên gọi là bán pass Artisan.
Yeah, we talked about that Cypher trip as being part of the trap. Jesse, that's huge.
Rơi cụ mấy bom bây giờ.
Still got the spike, the cross to the A side still on, and no one there to defend it anymore. They had fled the site to push on up, and so it's undeniable. It's free as the plank goes down.
Còn Paranoid còn chơi được anh em ạ. Nhưng bên kia có ulti Phoenix, phun đồ Phoenix luôn, vãi lồn. Chơi một round đấu mà thằng Phoenix đéo dùng một cái đồ gì luôn.
It's going to take a while. West side and Net have to travel through some dangerous territory. But finally, they'll make it to the fields of battle, and Jesse triggers the ultimate. In he goes with the run it back. He'll find nothing to start. West side takes advantage of the chaos. Strikes from behind.
Hay lồn chán, Kayak thua đầu súng ạ.
Crashes alone down below, but West side's there to join him. 11 for GX, and only one player lost as well. A solid round again. These ideas in the late round. This is a team that is not afraid to take risks, and I think maybe Fnatic aren't used to playing against a team like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. They literally pushed all the way around. They were half a second away from winning that round way earlier if they managed to get the kill onto Crashes with the spike.
Come on,
instead though, they then slow everything down. And that's the thing. Like
nó bị
if
mù
they
à?
had gone, okay, they're trying to plant.
Thôi
Let's
rồi,
throw the
nó
runner
bớt
back
ngu đi
in
một
with
tí.
Jesse, and he ran in and just tried to deny plant. I would not have been mad. But instead they went, we're 4v3. We're going to wait. We're going to play it as a team. We're going to use our util together. That's great play.
Đừng ngo tê, tao xin.
Again, for this team GX, I expect there to be so many gaps, but so far they've been filling them in with good gameplay. Stuns gone out, and it looks like they'll commit. Kayak already through to the site. Shut down by West side. Jesse, Ara, all showing up. And the Hunter's Fury, angry as he may be, it will do nothing to help close the gap. They need picks to go their way. A res attempt as they bring Cloud back, using him as bait, but the paranoia is perfect. Denies them any further ground. Good work by Alpha. A 2v3.
Một gen, một sai.
Turn your nose at just yet. This is still dangerous for GX.
Yeah, Alpha still being on the table can be enough. And a lot of rounds he's had his hero moments, the 3K walking in instead. They're going to put pressure onto Crashies. What will he expect? Two players to be sat around this angle. This is so nasty. I said they're not just saying, look at him! He's lining up darts! Of course he didn't expect anybody to be there. And well, blink a couple of times. Maybe close your eyes for a second, breathe in if you're a Fnatic fan. Yes, GX with a stand-in have just taken your team to overtime. Yes, it is the first map of them being back on the table. And yes, they're causing heart attacks. On the positive side though, genuine props to GX. I think they were saying on the desk that it was it 5 pracs, or maybe it was 5 days of practice with Jesse, but they knew that he was going to be in, coming in with a new IGL, swapping things up massively in terms of like Flickless playing a different role. You've gone to OT versus Fnatic on map 1. That's really impressive.
This is a huge win already, and again,
tôi vừa xem được một cái clip vãi lồn lắm anh em ạ.
You know, he knows how this team likes to prepare. He knows how they like to play. 3 of these boys are guys that he's got a lot of experience with.
Vãi lồn đẳng cấp, ngoài đời y hệt như này anh em ơi.
And for Fnatic,
ngoài đời y hệt như này. Chả khác đéo rồi.
It is so many. You think that they come in as clear favorites, and for GX to even have a heartbeat in this map is enough to say, hey, that's a success with the days of prep and all of the excuses that they have.
Well, the best example we can give is look back to the game yesterday where Liquid played against Eternal Fire, where they had their coach standing in, and the Liquid got absolutely dumpstered. It was 13-6, 13-2. That, I'll be honest, that's what I was expecting, and maybe that's me underselling like the difference between a coach and a stand-in, but that has some positives and negatives. The guy, your coach is going to know all your strategies, but hey, it makes me very excited for what GX will be able to do with their full roster, or maybe even just how long's Jesse staying for? Because he's been great.
Maybe he can stick around, man. I'm loving it. The identity of GX so far.
Em kênh chat đây, anh em cho mình xin một like đâu, anh em kêu anh em nhiều ạ.
Watch this squad play. As we said, the ideas and the risks taken. But it's not every round. They're not playing stupid and it's working. They're choosing and picking their moments perfectly. Now they've earned themselves an overtime and a chance to push Fnatic.
Chìa ma main cơ bản đến từ GX.
Map down.
Mid thì có Sova, có Cypher.
Well, they're no longer
đang áp
sitting
lực
back
mid.
the way they did before.
Fnatic đang chưa di
Instead, the
chuyển được.
trap set on short and in mid. It looks like they're ready to pounce on the back of any aggression towards A main, fight back that other leg of the push. And for GX, they're stepping right into that trap. This is where Kayak should step up in a big way.
They're ready. Oh, but the bait may be going the other way. Leaves him isolated. Net's able to trade. Cloud under some serious pressure, but Crashies has made sure that he's not going to get pincered.
Double flank shot. Một người tách ra rồi.
It's a very tough
task phải vào thôi. Cloud bait tốt. Cloud sẽ là bait anh em ạ. Crashies sao chết mẹ rồi.
It starts to get a little dangerous other for Althea. Althea's position should make this round
sống qua được.
impossible for the attackers. Boast is still on the side.
Rồi,
there
biết
is
được
Althea with the strike, and unless Flickless has a crazy clutch in him, that will be the lead brought back by Fnatic.
Yeah, it's already a bridge too far for GX to have made it to overtime, but the road to recovery now has just one more step. Fnatic winning this round. People won't forget what happened here today. Cloud will certainly remember his first map in the partnership era where he is not playing under the GX banner. This one might stick with him. His nails might shorten a bit after, but a win is a win. And one round away from having that under their belt are Fnatic.
Cage trigger.
Well, if I've learned anything from
Chỉ
this
mid
game
cơ bản.
so far is that Just because
Nó có
GX
ốp.
are down.
Poster bất ngờ lao ra xong rồi ăn đóng một viên vào mồm nó không?
Already a lot of steps being made.
Phải lùn. Chắc nếu mà họ thực sự làm được như thế tôi chắc tôi điên mất.
What seemed to work for Fnatic. Arrow though perfectly placed, and that's your smokes gone. They now have to go off this. You can't be selling any ruses. I think the drone got hit by the dart, so the dart was floating around, which definitely didn't help them out too much. But now things grind to a halt.
This is awful for Fnatic. With no smokes, no fast lane, you stop
Round nhạt
outside
phai
of
lùn.
main. You're just waiting for the death sentence to be carried out. GX just sit on their angles, knowing when you push, you step into their sidelines. And Ara is gifted a 4K there. His first solid to cut off the smokes. But honestly, I expect so much more from Fnatic in a moment where they see that blip. You even said it, Tom. They have to go. They've lost their smokes. It's time to go. And instead, they sat there and waited for something to go their way.
You even.
What's your peak RR last 6 seasons, Tom?
You know, at least 55.
Một cảm ơn anh em đang xem có gì cho mình xin một like nhé, cảm ơn anh em nhiều.
Rank, but 55. Yeah, we made it.
Người hỗ trợ em Tumi cái ra bài kênh vlog của anh em ạ. Kênh siêu vlog nên là cần phải mọi người hỗ trợ tí.
It's a big part of it. The Odin now on both sides. Amar Boaster, they're going to know exactly where he is. In fact, they are diving straight into his face. Cloud at least able to trade onto Ara. That's a big piece of the puzzle down for GX. But again, the smoker of Fnatic is gone in the early stages of the round.
I think that's a trade. GX looked dead in the face and said, sure, we'll take that. You lose your smokes, and we still have Jesse to get us into his sight. He's still got his flash, and if he's the one to find the trade, or even the orb afterwards, but certainly the trade and the orb, then we are very close to having a very high impact ultimate. So I think that's well worth it for GX, not just to get control and the orb, but to remove Boaster, remove that paranoia, force its use early. Most importantly, remove those smokes. Now, slowing down this attack side will be much more difficult. In fact, I'm not sure if they've taken the orb already, but they're bypassing it. Jesse's still 2 away as they push towards the site. Spam is great from Alpha. Dealt death to 2, and now GX Miles needing a hero play, but the villain of their round is still
Nếu có thằng Alpha rồi chắc thua được 2 con mẹ mày kiếp rồi.
Fnatic up to 14 and
Nếu có thằng Alpha bắn như thế thì thua được 2 kiếp rồi.
Yeah. Althea is still going strong. Althea's B site has been strong throughout the majority of this game so far. In fact, I still remember one of the early rounds where it was him alone on B, everyone else. So they lost the A site. He's been having a decent game. And to be fair, there's no major slacker over on the Fnatic side, but now they look to take a pause, an opportunity to close this one out. Chat with ENG and Desmo about what idea they have to try and get one of these attack rounds over the line.
It was hilarious, the toast we had earlier, the corruption of the elves. It was about Cloud.
Oh, the Star Wars one.
Tom, it was about Cloud and how he hadn't played KO since 2022 LCQ. And I just find it funny in this game that Flickless on his 3rd ever play of Omens looking across the stage and saying he gets to play KO. Come on.
Alpha cái left thì ai êm kinh hơn á.
And I do think he's looked a little better in this set.
Rồi
Better in the second half.
Alpha.
Was a tough first, but yeah, all in all, this is not the Flickless that we know. And of course, as I said, in this scenario where you have a Venn diagram of agents played for players and there's too much overlap, somebody has to be the one to try something new, to move out of their comfort zone. And I guess there is no real easy person to choose in this from what we've seen, but Flickless has always been a highlight for me on the KO, so it certainly makes my heart heavy.
Yeah, it might just be the position that Net prefers to call from.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's even just
Very
this
common.
map. You never know. They might swap things
State
up.
đang bắn là ở Catalonia anh em nhá.
IGLs to want to be initiators as well, especially in the newer team.
Ooh. Early damage, early fight. All in on the B site for Fnatic. As I said, the more direct plays is what worked for them. And
Phải
easy
lùn
kill
lại
though.
một
The
bài
reveal
rớt B.
from the trip is perfect. Boaster's done well.
Maxi làm được
Crash
đấy.
is the same. The push through, the paranoia in towards the smoke. But 2 players are there. Flickless just spamming. The trade's still.
Smile 10.000 nhá.
West side normally so good with a singular bullet, but this time he misses and has to be careful. Just about sticks to life. He should be dead and eventually will be. It's left all on to the stand-in. Jesse has made his mark already throughout this map as a man who's not on either of these rosters, but he has a chance to keep this overtime going. The Molotov should make it very awkward for Boaster. In fact, he's burning all the way down, almost
Đéo hiểu
cleared
sao
with
Buster
that
vẫn sống
alone.
nhưng mà thôi ok.
But he doesn't know where Crashies is. Not yet at least. Looking to try and find that final man, maybe break through in this moment, but time will be everything, and eventually
Tay
Fnatic
trưởng vào
will
OT
get the
mới
job
thắng ạ.
done. It is not a comfortable start to
What
the
in
ENG
the actual
dynasty,
fuck?
but the fact is there are many more maps to go.
Well, they stole their IGL, they forced those changes, and now stand to wave across the stage. That was Alpha for Fnatic. Not a comfortable victory, but a win is a win. Now over to the sideline where Frankie's got Crashies.
Crashies, how would you describe the way Giant X played today compared to how you expected them to play?
I don't think we underestimate any team, and I think they're playing really well. I think you can kind of see like we're both kind of warming up into the game, getting back into the field of playing matches again, and it was a good game to be honest. It was pretty fun to play.
Were there any moments where you were
3 ngày
like,
cuối mới bắn ở Bắc Xá hả? Tức là đây vẫn là ở Berlin à?
Pretty surprised like some rounds, so yeah, they're definitely playing really good in my opinion.
Well, let's see what happens in the next match.
That's more like it.
Congratulations. Go get ready. We'll see you guys, by the way, after this break.
Nghỉ ngơi tí halftime anh em ơi. Xem một cái gì đấy xem một cái gì đấy vào halftime nhỉ anh em nhỉ? Vlog em chè không anh em? Thôi, mình chỉ hợp xem stream em chè thôi chứ. Thằng Lê Minh đổi góc
tôi có bị
về nhà rồi.
Không anh em? Từ từ nhá. Màu vào Discord không bị sập. Mày Lan này.
Gì?
Alo, anh Long ơi, anh thử nói chuyện đi.
Ok anh Long.
Trông được ấy nhờ, Lê Minh đổi góc trông ok chứ.
Có ấy so với mấy anh em này không?
Về nhà là thằng cu đỡ bị sập máy tính rồi anh em ạ. Mình nghĩ sao về lab mới quá, kêu khả năng tranh suất đi cham á. Thật ra thì để thời gian trả lời anh em ạ. Giờ mình nhận xét sớm làm gì đâu.
I already have everything. Chít đã ném 10.000 đồng cho em Tumi. Pat Saiki không speed ok ka.
Chít 10.000 nhá, mình chưa có dùng con đó nên không dám nhận xét anh em ơi. Có cái gì để xem nhỉ anh em nhỏ? Cái này à? Không có đồng tôn đi EMEA nữa đâu, anh câu anh hốt chọn rồi à? Sao? May là hôm nay Bom không ra khơi á, anh Bom không xem. Anh Bom không xem EMEA kỳ này. Ai nhắn tin giờ này vậy? Đêm rồi tôi sợ tiếng Messenger ấy rồi thề. Thế rồi nhầm nhạc rồi anh em ơi, đéo mở nhạc bản quyền. Tôi không muốn mở nhạc bản quyền đâu. Cậu Đức thèm bia, cần một buổi ưu tiên thứ hai, thứ ba vì thứ tư chạy PMPL rồi. Khó. Em đang log in. Không đi được đâu. Peace and love. Tình yêu và nước đá anh em ạ. Bây giờ nhá, nói thẳng với anh em luôn, log in và tạm biệt tất cả mọi cuộc hẹn có thể tạm biệt được, hiểu không? Thực sự là tôi đang cố gắng né tránh tất cả những buổi hẹn anh em ạ. Từ già đến trẻ, từ nam đến nữ, né tất cả những cuộc hẹn có thể. Tôi chỉ livestream và chỉ livestream thôi. Livestream đến khi nào gọi là lăn ra đấy thì thôi. Đọc trên X có tin mới á, tin gì vậy? Về cái gì mới được chứ? Ô Petra này. À, thầy Nát à? Thầy Nát cái tin đấy đầy page đăng rồi mà. Tin đấy đăng từ sáng hôm nay luôn. Sao huấn luyện viên của FNC trông lạ vậy á? Anh em không cập nhật thông tin thôi, chứ thầy ENG về từ đợt trước rồi mà. Kết thúc stage 1 là thầy ENG về rồi. Chốt nha anh em nhá. Theo như thể theo nguyện vọng của anh em thì khả năng cao là không xem trận sau anh em ạ. Chúng ta sẽ xem hết trận Fnatic TRgent X, sau đó là sẽ nghỉ ngơi một chút để đến tầm 3 rưỡi sáng mình sẽ on xem trận Furia cả Leviathan anh em ạ. Xem nhà vô địch Master London bắn thế nào. À, nhà vô địch giải giao hữu London nhá, không phải Master London nhầm. À, phải tí nữa cơ. 600 anh em mới ngồi đấy, không phải chạy đi đâu cả. Lên sự kiện nữa nhở. Để tôi tải cái thumbnail về nữa. Đọc tài Advat khi nào ra khơi á? Hình như là ngày chủ nhật, ngày thứ ba của ấy, của tuần này. Ý là ngày thứ ba của America tuần này. 2 ngày nữa ấy. Đây rồi, vào trận sau rồi anh em ơi.
Very excited to play the chamber apparently because he's goading me along.
Chamber, Avayo.
They
Ok
get
đấy,
quite
đáng
doable.
xem
I
hơn
like
chút
this
rồi đấy.
composition. Sage and Chamber together is very underrated, especially on
Ngày
this
xưa
map.
bắn
We've seen it in the past. I believe it
bắn map
was
Sunset
G2
này thuần tiện anh
who
em
used
nhá.
to do it
Không
and
biết
had
là
a
bây
lot
giờ
of
đỡ hơn
success. What
chưa.
we're going to see here is the Sage using the slows early to allow the Chamber to get up into positions and then hold deep, and then the Sage can rotate away. So that's a really nice idea from Fnatic. Giant X a bit more bread and butter breach, but Giant X used to be extremely good on this map with that breach.
It's nice to hear you being positive about Breach.
They used to be good with it. I don't like it, but it worked for them, so
It can still work.
yeah.
If you were playing one of these compositions, which team would you want to be playing for right now, Petra?
Fnatic, I just really like Sage Chamber. we played the same comp before in G2 Gozen, and it was fun comp to play.
But when Fnatic switched that attack side, they were always defaulting middle. And today I need to see them stop defaulting middle and just sitting there for 60 seconds. That was why they kept losing Sunset in the past, and they need to change that if they want to win against Giant X.
Well, let's see if they can win with a sweet 2-0, because Mitchman and Tom are ready to take this one.
Yes, we are, Frankie. We're ready to take this match all the way to map 3. That's right, I'm a GX believer after what we just saw on map number 1. Why can't they do it on Sunset? Mini even said, starting out this series, that he's a little worried. Sunset back in the day, when we saw Fnatic playing it, we didn't see him doing all too well, so things need to change. They most certainly have on Fnatic. Things are different than before, from game to meta to players, but after that ascent, I am not too confident.
Yeah, that's fair. You did always seem like a Giants Xer. I agree. You are one of those people. And I genuinely do think that if they continue to call and play in the way that they have, I'm excited to see what they'll do. I'm still curious if they can have the same sort of setup power with Flickless now over onto the Breach. But I think, like, role-wise, okay, maybe not so much the net on Sova, but I guess they're filling in where Cloud left off. Aggressive though.
Ồ,
from
ra bắn
Fnatic.
trượt hai bên Hunter luôn.
And
Độ
already
hay rồi.
forcing back one, an awkward
Tốt.
fight for Jesse, who's gone TPing. Getting back on the Phoenix. You can't TP on a Phoenix.
Exactly. Back to comfort.
League Brick map này, cái này thì cổ điển rồi.
Shaky start for GX, losing one, but Fnatic want to keep aggressing. This could be a mistake. Net is waiting,
Hay,
but
tốt.
never mind. It is success
Cậu
across
vẫn
the
đang bò
board
nha.
for FNC. 2 men left on the other side,
Tốt
down
cậu.
to 1, and Alpha looks to
Rồi.
close it out himself. It won't
Cậu nằm
quite
mà
be
đẹp.
the flawless
Cậu nằm
round,
là 2 viên
much
off
to
rồi.
the disappointment of InZone, but I don't think Fnatic fans are going to be upset. Westside needs a 1v4.
Westside
He
Mike
has got a
lắm,
signature
thiếu nhanh.
weapon, the Sheriff, to do it, but
Nghĩ nhiều làm gì.
this would be a
4v1 thua được, các
hell of
thưởng.
a clutch. A clip to be remembered.
Yeah, likelihood seems pretty slim. Fnatic just looking to play this one nice and safe, not over-risking too much.
Sao anh chắc
Does
cứ
have
bị
an
error thì hay là
opportunity.
bị
Okay,
từ
that's a
gì
nice
cấm á?
shot.
Em chả cấm gì đâu, anh
Maybe
F5 thử
able
lại
to
cái trình
hightail
duyệt
his
đấy.
way towards that B site, which has an opening for the plant. Trying not to give too much away with the steps, but when you have deep control of Crashies, the slower he goes, the more of a problem this becomes. The later on the clock, the more difficult it is. And he's already been spotted by Cloud, but Cloud, I think, realizes that unless he takes him down immediately, that's a little bit dangerous. Sticking this, I don't think he'll have enough time anymore. And it would just have to be the kills, and yeah, he doesn't actually have any bullets left, so even reloading would be a death sentence. A little bit of additional damage, a couple of orbs
Mình vừa ngồi
towards that
chỉnh một tí
wonderful
cái livestream mẹ mình
theft,
quay ra tí
but
nữa
other
thua
than
được mà.
that, it's a relatively comfortable pistol for Fnatic.
It's just an opportunity for Westside to remind us how his Sheriff works and why we want to see him on the Sentinel.
And how
Keep him
his
there.
headshot percentage works.
Well, exactly. It is above average, to say the least. I remember a point where I think he was like 20% above the rest of the league towards the end of, I think it was last stage, maybe it was kickoff. And that is not a rare thing for him either. 1-0 start for FNC, and it's a full eco on the other side, barring Westside's investment. Not into a Sheriff. Keeping a couple more credits as he goes for the Bandit.
Làm tốt.
chances of getting anything done with it down to 0 thanks to Cloud.
Wow, an opportunity
Tốt.
to basically just farm
Tưởng
up
hay
some
luôn.
orbs.
Tường đi qua Tường đi qua
Not really much of an expectation in this round other than maybe getting a kill or two with that bandit.
Well,
kìa, vẫn mất Gracia thì đéo à? Hay, never mind.
For not one but 2 more kills closing out this round.
Đặt xuống.
At least going to
Đúng
be a couple
rồi.
of orbs towards the res for Fnatic. Decent kill distribution when it comes to the anti-eco, but that is a boring round, if ever we've seen one, for GX. A low buy. Now turns into a full. I do wonder if Cloud meant to put that wall down. I assume he did. With a gap on the right side, funneling them down towards just one
Má
angle
sao
as they
nhìn
make
cam
it
của
out.
bọn VCT
Slowing the reinforcements,
EMEA bắt
but
mượt
also
nhở?
giving him an angle to push up on, and I don't
Thì
think
nhớ
they were
lại
aware
cam của
that that wall wasn't
TWC
fully
vừa rồi
covering
không
it.
được mượt lắm anh
2-0.
em ạ.
Decent buy for Fnatic. They can afford to take a lot of risky fights. But at least the first one
Cậu
is
ra
dealt
mid
with.
pick xong rồi cậu lùi về luôn rồi.
Yeah, this is a round where you really want to see GX get going. They managed it on the last map and had a pretty decent comeback into the game. Obviously, I think if they were able to convert that sort of second round victory they had and not lose some of the thrifties we saw, the last map easily could have been theirs, which wasn't something I expected coming into today. Starting out on this attack side.
Họ không nhảy tưng nhảy trêu nữa. Tầm này Alpha Male lock in rồi anh em ơi.
They were able to do these more contact burst plays with the flashes of Phoenix. Now you kind of need
Cách
to
giảm
have
cân hiệu quả là gì vậy à?
raring to go to kind of set you up
Bây giờ mình
behind.
trả lời thì đéo được trong khi mình chưa giảm được cân này anh em. Một cách tôi từng giảm cân rất nhanh đấy chính là là gì nhỉ?
Cloud especially.
Ai?
Ui,
có một
backstab that only finds one.
Hay này, Crashy ăn được kill rồi.
Crashies on the spam at least brings us back to even footing. And for Fnatic, that is a big win to put us back to neck and neck in terms of manpower. Jesse gonna break.
Ui, drive by.
That was sent his way.
Hay.
The signs for Fnatic pointing towards Westside being in main
Tốt.
as he closes the
Thằng
distance,
luôn.
trying to get the jump. Crashies somehow gets the jump on him. A third round under the belt of the defensive side, and excellently done. And in fact, for all intents and purposes, the retake looking kind of easy.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was just a couple of off angles being caught by Crashies as he looks to swing back in. I think this one just catching out Flickless, the trade looking good, and then it was just almost the bait that was created by Kayak.
Nice, man.
Stellar stuff to win the bonus, and
right here.
Maybe a little bit more of what we expected to see coming into today. It's only going to be pistols once again for GX. Of course, I feel like the harshness of this is not only do you have a stand-in, but you have a change in players. How much time have you spent prepping Sunset since that?
Yeah, as much as I want to believe in GX, we're on the map pick of Fnatic. We're somewhere that probably a lot of people didn't expect them to pick this today. I'd be surprised if GX did, unless they've got some inside info into what's being scrimmed on the other side.
Naughty, naughty.
And then you come into this position where
Cày vãi luôn, bây giờ kiểu âm thanh ở quanh tôi nó kiểu
previous map.
bên dưới là cái quạt là đã có tiếng rồi nhá. Xong cái máy lọc không khí ở bên dưới tôi cũng bật full công suất nhá. Bây giờ có thêm cả cái tiếng của cái quạt của cái đèn ạ. Thì những âm thanh kỳ lạ vậy luôn. May ở Mixi. Đấy anh em thấy tiền của anh em đi đâu chưa? Tiền của anh em đi đến cái mic. Một cái mic rất xịn. Và chúng ta sẽ không phải nghe những âm thanh đấy. Chúng ta không phải nghe những âm thanh kỳ lạ trong vòng tôi. Người phải chịu đựng duy nhất ở đây chỉ là tôi mà thôi.
That A laneway, and then the other one is completely blocked off.
30 seconds left.
Makes it very hard to play against.
And this kind of goes back to the conversation. I'm going to disrespect Aaron and assume he's getting nothing here.
Anh em bảo Brick map này thì Brick giúp Ethan vô địch champion ở map này đấy anh em. Anh em nói nhiều về con Brick làm gì? Lại là Westside, 7 giây thôi. Bố bảo ấy đừng cố nữa, khổ lắm.
You could see the opportunities that Ara have just waited that little bit longer. Instead, 4-0 we go.
I've just read the sort of the in-game toast about headshot percentage.
Spike down A.
Yeah, actually, that was what I was thinking of with Stage 2. The people at home will see it now. Stage 2 last year was the 52% where he was above by quite a margin by the time we closed it out.
Most people who have that good headshot percentage are bad.
Yes.
Like, that's normally what it is.
Don't kill
you don't kill people, and then when you accidentally hit someone in the head, you get really good headshot percentage. Like, sometimes when you see a coach stand in, they'll have really good headshot percentage. And that's the only people that's close. And, well, that's not the start you're looking for. The setup guy, he's dead first.
Lâu rồi em không coi Fnatic Cloud là mới đây hả anh? Đúng rồi, thật ra thì không phải là do em lâu rồi em không coi Fnatic đâu. Lâu rồi em chưa bấm vào nút follow ở trên Facebook của anh. Bấm ngay vào nút like ở trên kênh fanpage của anh. Bạn Thịnh Nguyễn Đinh Gia. Thịnh Nguyễn Đinh Gia.
He seemed excited today. He was turning over a new leaf. I don't know if he's going to have a lot of positives about how Flickless approached this round, but
he's just going to talk about Alpha with the operator. That's going to be his whole death segment, I reckon. Alpha kind of good. Come on, 40 seconds left. There's some interesting positioning at least. Westside with an opportunity. If he can drop a player, he leaves an opening. The problem is, you can hear the steps being run through. It's the timing that's everything. And actually, Cloud is so ready for a player to be there. Probably because of the pistol push in the prior round.
Cậu làm 2 rồi, việc dễ lắm rồi.
A round that wasn't winnable,
anh em
but
chỉ
it
cần đéo
also
chết là được.
puts that doubt in the back of your mind. You go, okay, we now need to be checking that spot every single round.
19 giây chắc save rồi.
Yeah, what we were saying about the whole like surprising them on Ascent and how it wasn't really possible. I think this is where GX get a much different test. Starting on the attack side should be the easier of those two. I think the next half is going to be more difficult for this squad, considering how they played on Ascent. But again, you're up against Cookie Cutter Comp on a map that is very difficult to reinvent the wheel. Now you come into a map that has a lot more open space to explore, a lot more options for an attacking side, and a composition from Fnatic that's going to allow them to make a lot of mistakes, make a lot of risky plays, and even if that doesn't go their way, they can recover. Whether it's the TP from Alpha, quick move from Kayak, or a res from Cloud, they have so many options. So for GX, I need them to step up now, or else this game, to me, just runs away.
It's also just because of the constant rotation of where Alpha is going to be, where Kayak is going to be, and where Cloud is going to be.
Hay anh em ạ, nhưng mà hay ở trong bình diện của EMEA thôi. EMEA thì tôi thấy là chưa đội nào xứng đáng được gọi là bắn hay map này cả.
There's just stage one slows. Let's walk up, take the space, take the orb, and go back. And instead, you're shot with an operator.
Yeah, adapting to those like 2021 comps, but with a Neon's much easier.
Trước đội nào á? Đội đang bắn này, VIE-ENG.
They're starting to have something go their way. 2 kills already under their belt. No res anymore with Cloud down and out in a big performance.
Cho bố tờ thế, nó còn đại địa chấn cả vào luôn ạ. Lại bố.
Operator in hand and 3 players to take down. A chance if he was to catch Net on the cross. But as we can see, he's missed the boat.
Yeah, he'll have ult next round, so the operator doesn't really matter that much. Also has credits to play with, so he's going to try and make this one costly. The ult from Net should make this one impossible, especially versus a singular player.
EMEA giờ yếu nhất rồi còn gì
try and run at them. Try and bait them into a fight, maybe even just bait out the ultimate if needed. Instead, it's this post-plant utility spam out from Flickless, and you can see Ara has no intention of peeking. They're just buying that additional time. Nice post-plant from GX, a first round onto the board. I think it needs to be a whole lot more if you're going to convince us that there's that same flair from the last map.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, this is a very fast push towards market where they find 3 kills off the back of it, including Cloud crossing over on mid. It's about as good of a start as you can get, but That's direct
Off
aggression
river tier
working
gì á?
out. I'm
Off
not certain
river
that's
đối
going to
với
be
tôi thì là S
repeatable
tier, bởi
every
vì
time,
bắn
and Fnatic
khá
now
là
come
sướng.
in with another surprise
anh em
round
ạ.
of their own. Slow orbs, paranoia, and a kayak sent straight through. This could be a dangerous one. TP and a wall. It's beautiful.
Ôi bài.
What an idea, but Boaster's being
Mà
caught.
quả smoke
The
main đâu,
cover
Potter?
not good enough from down below.
Thiếu quả smoke
And let's
main.
take a leaf out of GX's book in the last game.
Fuck
Play a
me,
little bit
man.
aggressive
Học bài
early
thiếu
on.
rồi.
Have some different ideas, but this one has not worked out.
Yeah, there are some things that you will see Jing do that don't always work for everybody else, and that might be one of them. Because it was a nice attempt, but they seemed more ready for it. I'm not going to lie, that's one of the clips I've seen replayed more times than anything else. So I think the second you see players pushing that aggressively, you do start to worry a bit. The aggression punished. Now, Cloud still has his ult. The problem is when you do something this aggressive, the players are very difficult to res.
Well, the thing is, this was a direct counter to GX taking that fast mid to market approach. The assumption from Fnatic that they're going to see that again. So you get up on that wall and you catch them as they run into middle. It's a great idea. GX turned around. The second that there was noise in main, they said, okay, let's fight this together. Because of that, they found themselves in an unlosable position, is what I would have said if I was stupid. Now, they're in a 3 versus 2 on Fnatic with a chance to run into main and pop a res, bringing them to double the manpower of their opponents. And that's exactly how this should have went. Nobody ever doubted it for a second.
Res through.
4v2 rồi thì gọi kayak.
We've always talked about Alfia as a fantastic player, but an operator was not something I ever really felt like he needed to add to his repertoire, but it's looking damn good now that he has. Maybe something a bit more consistently seen, but for now at least, Flickless in a decent position. Now Nightfall's not going to catch. In fact, onto anyone. They don't have additional information, but Alfia doesn't seem to have any problems. He's left on the west side. They know exactly where he is from this point onwards, and from what was a quick double opener for the side of GX, ends with Fnatic having 4 players alive.
Yeah, it's timeout time. It is time for timeout. Someone hit the timeout button.
Avazer hay là Kang phản ốp kinh hơn
Don't worry, I'm sure Pipson has been boxing it.
Even just to have like a group cuddle. This was an attempt from Fnatic to catch them off guard that resulted in them losing.
Và nó cầm cổ ốp đấy, nó chinh phục cả cái chung kết champion.
Unusable.
Nó chứng minh năng lực của anh em đừng hỏi. À không, người ta người bắn ốp hay nhất thế giới vẫn là something anh em. Sorry, tôi quên mất. My bad. Top 1 something, top 2 easy, top 3 Kang, my bad brother.
Emotionally strong, a lot stronger than I am, that's for sure.
What you do in your spare time, what you think about in your imagination, that's down to you.
I do it at work. Stars
you leave those guys alone. And great reveal. Push in, Crashy's just shutting them down on entry to the A side. They try and switch up where they're going, and instead, they've just met Crashy's. He should.
Máu vẫn sống đấy là sao?
Okay, Jesse managed to walk mid, and Flickless has just wiped out Alfia. These rounds have stopped making sense. The last one should have gone the way of Fnatic, and this one should have gone the way of Fnatic. I guess balance has been restored. You happy now? No more cuddles needed?
No, I'm not sure I'm happy, but look, it's worked out, hasn't it?
Yeah, you know.
What am I witnessing is a question I'm forced to ask myself consistently throughout this round. The fact that we have a flank come up from Jesse here, he is able to backstab the entirety of the squad.
Jesse. Come on, bro, let's go. What are we doing? Guys, what are we doing? I don't know.
That's a great question to ask, Ara. I would ask the same question. Just 1 round ago, I would have asked you the same question. But now valid to ask that of Fnatic. 6-2 in the most unusual manner we've ended up here. But for Fnatic, they still are able to get a full buy up here. Still able to get that operator into the hands of Alfia as well. So there is no relaxation allowed on the side of GX. The mid-split, the A site late being hit seems to be the idea. But look how passive Fnatic are. They're waiting on the cross with Cloud, and then they had, and now will have again. Crashy's holding that top mid position. Kayak was ready to strike with him. But they've given up on that heavier stack towards top mid, just as GX walked towards this position. Oh,
timing's not great. the Prowler did give the information Crashies wanted, but
như này
a
đéo
little
thấy
bit
gì là biết
closer than
lại
he
quay
might
lại
have
B đúng không?
expected.
Rồi clear xong rồi. B thôi.
Waiting and just falling back off this. You see that aggressive push into mid, and now you can see that Fnatic have had to put Boaster almost all the way back into towards the spawn, watching, see if anybody is going to move that way. The smoke timing, though, is ideal, and so is the slow. 25 seconds left. They need to move into this site, and the slows are just holding them back. They've allowed Alpha into this corner, where he's going to be incredibly dangerous.
He doesn't even have to strike until two bodies are on the floor. The round wrapped up in an 8-bow. Cloud's third secured. And Net with 6 seconds and no spike. It's fair to say the odds are against him. Around for Fnatic yet again. And GX, as much as they've had two solid ones on the board, they are running out of time, running out of runway. Again, if this is all that they can get out of this half, it will be a quick close to this map. I really do think that their biggest challenge is yet to come.
Yeah, they've struggled versus, again, these slows from Sage. That's why the agent has become so popular. It just feels like more of a wall than the wall. Like, you can't just go running out into that crossfire. And someone that is going to have to figure that out on the other side is going to be the leader of Net. Someone who is, I think, honestly impressed me in the first map. I think having a lot of set plays and aggressive pushes that kind of gave them opportunities. A lot of cool things already for a very early stage IGL in this team. But of course, he does have a lot of caliber in terms of the rosters he's been on, be that in the tier 1 or the tier 2.
Yeah, indeed. I think coming in today, having the previous IGL of this squad be on the other team, not even as an IGL, facing off against Boaster, and Boaster with a Cloud under his belt who is unleashed. That is something that I honestly thought for these guys to push double digits would be decent, and that I only thought because I know that there's so many good individuals on this team. Then we look at Flickless having one of the worst maps we've seen in a long time, playing an agent he's only ever played 2 times before today, in the previous when he was on Omen. And for GX to come into that and perform the way that they did, and it wasn't just winning rounds, it was catching Fnatic off guard. Like, they had ideas that their opponents were not ready for, which, given the scenario, is almost unheard of. They can hold their head high after that first map, but where has that flare gone now that they're outside of the map that they chose? In an unfamiliar battleground, and Fnatic seemingly strengthening their position as the rounds go on. West side, they know that he's making his way up. They're waiting for him, but they've TP'd. Boaster's lost his mind, lost his life as well, but not lost all hope. As Aura is left down to a sliver of health. 1v1 with a that changes.
Làm việc đi.
Back like he never left. Althea with a second lease of life, and that's not what you want to see. Ara definitely has got himself in a bit of an unorthodox position, but I like this from Cloud. He knows what his ex-teammate is about to do. And, you know, the man is currently 13-4. A fantastic round individually. And honestly, a fantastic map that we're seeing from Cloud. Because we talked about the things that are exciting, like Althea being able to be aggressive. Kayak the same, who's been relatively quiet so far. But the standout, no doubt, has been Cloud.
Yeah, definitely, and I don't think anybody's going to be...
let's go, baby!
I don't think anyone's going to be massively surprised to see him deliver. Again, we've talked for a while about the IGL role and what it takes away from you as an individual. We've seen it with Cloud, and maybe there were some people out there thinking, well, Cloud's just not the player he once was. Well, yes, he is. There you go. You can see it.
Sẽ luôn có một người Nga trong đội hình.
Just whether he's along for the ride.
Có thể coi Đức là một người Nga.
Taking full advantage of this newfound position.
Rồi sau này là thằng Bray AF của Bray AF một thời gian, nhưng mà thằng đấy sau rồi cũng đi tại visa. Rồi
Yeah, I'd say so. So they're gonna lose their next game. That goes ahead.
Wow.
I just respect boasters.
Bây giờ là Cloud.
That's the gap. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, the pressure on to Althea. Net's done well. Looking to try and turn back the tide, but that seems ever more unlikely up until
Dỗ
Arrow
thẳng á hả? Điên à?
gives them an advantage, and
Phải
he
luôn,
even
nó trong
looks to
ulti luôn.
clean up Boaster as well from the depths of defeat. They managed to strike, and now THEO, yeah, he just got to try and leave. Maybe kill someone off as he goes, and even just a stun to leave him in. I like it, you know, just an additional assist coming through for Flickless.
Yeah, I don't think he cares all that much about stats, or at least I hope he doesn't today.
ACS, get your ACS up, King.
It's all about. Combat score.
Hey, his cast is going through the roof right now. Oh wait, he would have survived anyway. So
yeah, still got that percentage up there, and that very relevant and useful statistic.
It is.
Whoever came up with
his KDA just increased.
Whoever decided cast was a statistic we cared about, I hope you never identify yourself to me. 8-3. Left to play with. For GX, there is still hope if they can end this 8-4. I do think the next half will have a lot of challenges. I'm not sure that they're ready for what might come their
Theo
way.
như Nation League nói thì đấy là NEU anh em nhá.
Widened in their favor.
Người kinh tế quốc dân anh em ạ.
Foundation for the recovery. Alfiair's already a spanner in the works.
Rút over luôn.
The flank wide open for GX, and they have to pace themselves. Well, I would have imagined they'd accelerate into A, but it looks like this late mid hit's still on the cards.
Tôi mới vào Cloud trẻ không mới bắn ổn không á. Bắn thì chắc chắn là ổn rồi, còn trẻ tôi nghĩ là không trẻ lắm.
Trades back once again.
Biến cái đéo gì ở sau khói đây các bố ơi.
Definitely having a rough game individually, and it's not getting any better. Crashies hits the timing perfectly. Net is just about going to escape the ult. Oh no.
Vẫn dính á.
Never mind.
Just when he thought he was out.
Just when he thought he was safe.
Revealing area.
Well. The spike is somewhat surrounded. He's got 30 seconds to play with, and Crashies is on a tear. A 9-3 half. That was quite clean.
Yes, this is a very different vibe.
Cloud 22 tuổi thôi á, ý là bình thường, trẻ bình thường đấy anh em. Còn anh em bảo là hàng trẻ bây giờ là phải trẻ tầm thằng Sato ấy. Sato hay là Neong thì mới là những thằng gọi là trẻ.
Let's toss over to an interview we had with Pipson earlier on.
If my face looks really shocked right now, it's because Pipson's told me a lot of stuff he says he can't talk about in the interview. So what can you tell me about the team right now? Because today you're going to be playing with Stand and Jesse.
To be honest, we'll just see how it goes. I can tell you that we played 5 scrims with Jesse. He arrived yesterday, and it was fine. Like, he tried to learn everything as quick as possible. I don't think he managed to do it because it can be like a lot of information, but the player is helping him during the game, like regarding what he needs to do. So in this aspect, that's the things I can tell you.
Well, you're hoping for LUectivNG to be here soon, and also you've got Net, your new player as well, alongside him. What's been the main focus of this rebuild?
To be honest, we had to, like when Cloud left to Fnatic, we had to look for the replacement. So we were actually testing a lot of players. Like, I'm pretty sure if the players are watching, they know. Like, so we have been testing a lot of players, and in the end we decided to go with Net and Mushak. But right now Mushak has like some visa issues, so it can be a bit rough. So we are playing with Jesse.
Why were they the right players for GIANT? Why were they the right players?
To be honest, because we didn't get the Cloud, we had to, like, we didn't manage to keep playing with Cloud, so we had to have a player who is really, really vocal, and Net is one of that type of the guys, and who can be really, really vocal, who can control certain things, who can do certain things in game, like outside of the server, and inside the server, like in terms of communication and certain traits which we liked in him more than like shooting or stuff like that, which he's responsible for in the team. So that's the reason why we went for Nat.
You chose him for his brains.
Sometimes.
Sometimes he has brains. A positive sign here for the new GIANT. Thank you so much, Fitz, and good luck.
Jesse thay ai á? Jesse thay một thằng player người thổ mới ở dưới các anh em ạ. Nói chung là bây giờ muốn gọi là nạp lần đầu thì anh em phải mua player thổ thôi. Thằng player kia tên là Muzek anh em ạ. Đây là Muzek thì bắn cho team Parke Esports ở VCL Tây Ban Nha. Player người Thổ Nhĩ Kỳ.
They're up against Fnatic that should be revitalized, and they're playing with a stand-in. We didn't have high expectations. The first map maybe gave us a little bit of false hope, but now it looks like we're exactly where we should have been all along. Alfia starting things off, a great half from him. Kayak actually, well, it was a 9-3 half. Obviously, they're going to be happy. He didn't really have to do much. Shut down quite a lot throughout this map, but I don't think anybody's going to mind too much. Nice shot from him. He's got the brain and the aim, it seems, but do they have a little bit more?
Again, not afraid to take risks. This time, no going into heavy traffic. That's a big delivery from Westside. I think that was a collateral headshot connected, and although
vấn đề là Grassy bỏ con mẹ đến đây rồi.
He was one bullet away from fading.
Even though collateral headshot's not going to help his
headshot
percentage,
cứ dính với nhau rồi.
He got the kill. The wall bang.
No.
Exactly. His
Two
headshot percentage has
one
gone
body
down.
shot. He's been screwed.
Wait until we tell him about his
Grassy đi con mẹ hết map rồi đéo thấy người đâu ạ. Thì
that's cats. 3 versus 3.
Cảm giác tiêu rồi anh em đi bò con mẹ về bò cả ngày đéo thấy người đâu.
Position that might not be clear from Cloud. Like it's quite a common spot, not quite given away by the ponytail. But do they check it? He didn't panic. He just sat there and waited, and then you got Kayak for contact. This should be an easy cleanup in the end. Only going to be Westside remaining. There's the headshot we know.
Mai đoán ra được.
He's leveled up from the last one, but he is out of time. No hope of getting this one over the line. And it's XIGL playing him like a fiddle. 16-5 for Cloud, 10-3 for Fnatic. The 2-0 looking.
Còn mẹ của Lao ơi, rơi mẹ của xe Zip rồi.
Yeah, at this point for GX, you know, it's funny thinking back to that interview from halftime. Pipson said, "We didn't manage to keep playing with Cloud." You could tell they very much still wanted to keep him around. They didn't lose faith.
Oh yeah, but he's good.
Well, you know.
I did think he was going to say a different word for a second, so he said, "Yeah, boy," right? That's what he said. He said, "Yeah, boy." That's what he said.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He's actually going to go for the longest.
Một cái anh em đang xem có gì cho mình xin một like nhé, anh em thank you anh em nhiều.
If they win this map.
I can't wait for the post-match interview. This is gonna slap. Frankie, if you're listening, please just walk up to me. I heard you're gonna hit the longest yeah boy in history. See how he reacts. Cold call him with it. He might do it.
Very fast move.
Đừng chết nữa là được.
From the defense. Again, making this round look competitive. An orb even for Flickless. Although with how the rounds have been going, I don't know if that orb is going to be too relevant. Rifle picked up for Kayak and even going to plant towards the back of the site.
Spike planted.
Net is about to walk into a multitude of players. Now, he does have a bandit. We like the bandit. We're a big fan of the bandit, but as we said, Kayak have been quiet.
Đàn cầu xuống hết mẹ đạn ạ, đời ơi. Rồi sao? Đăn cho anh em Fnatic nha anh em.
What could have been a labored victory now just becomes a formality for Fnatic. A comeback like this.
Đáng có làm America luôn không á, có nha. Chăm chỉ của tôi đã trở lại rồi anh em ơi. Tôi có thể là nói chung là thời gian đầu trước khi mà làm quen lại cả nhịp của VCT ấy thì có thể là 1-2 buổi tôi sẽ ngủ muộn, tôi sẽ ý là tôi sẽ kiểu bị on muộn ấy, nhưng mà cũng chỉ on muộn so với cả cái lịch mà tôi đăng thôi, chỉ còn vẫn trước trận nha anh em nhé. Cố gắng. Thì hôm nay là tôi có gọi là muộn hơn khoảng tầm 20 phút so với cả lịch tôi đã set. Thì cũng vẫn thông cảm được anh em ạ, tại vì là trận đấu nó cũng chưa bắt đầu.
Does well with Alfia down, but they seem undeterred. I mean, it's strange. He's so far ahead.
Đá World Cup lúc 2 giờ thì mình có làm tí reaction không à? Mình có reaction không anh em?
The stun from Arrow won't quite catch both, and they've made it around the corner. Baiting out the rotations, sending Boaster now to take space on this side of the map so that they could plant is what I thought, but well, they've went back to fighting in with the spike, and that's given Net a field day. A flurry of frags and Boaster a chance.
Trông khọm xử lý trông khọm đấy nhở. Trông nó cứ mò ấy anh em. Trông giống thầy THEO lúc mà ấy vãi lồn, lúc ngồi mẹ mày xếp mua vãi lồn.
Bonus round at least not going to be converted, but the start of an incredibly long journey back through on this defensive side, and of course the next purchase coming up for Fnatic will be a 4-buy. And it seems like Boaster may even have dropped an operator over to Alpha yet to allow that to be in for the first purchase.
I'm shitting on these kids, bro.
Well, let's run over to the stats here and take a look.
He's 11-11.
Not bad.
So at least one per round.
Cái đéo gì? Thầy tao đánh TPC đấy.
Not sure if it's defecation level, but it's certainly a good output. More so the score line I'm drawn to.
You gotta believe. You gotta fake it till you make it. That's what they say.
Ooh,
be the man you want to be. And then maybe one day you could do what he said. I don't know. It doesn't quite with the phrasing he used. It's not quite as nice and positive as I would have wanted it to be.
Yeah, a bit of a detractor to the positivity. Well, GX are looking to crunch in mid, and that has worked out. I mean, it could not have worked out better timing-wise. Arrow walked out.
Chưa người 2-1-2 không cậu lục mẹ mid rồi anh em ơi.
Found one for free. And it looks like they're priming up an A fake. It worked decently well last time. 3 players towards this side. You're going to have Prowlers as well as Neon making noise there, and then the immediate shift back. The trip blocking them off, and Fnatic just leave a couple seconds for those rotates and then step in for the plant. That was very close to being a pickup as well for Boaster. And what it is for sure is a lot of space, a lot of control.
3v5 thì nó là impossible anh em nhé.
Favor of GX.
TP potentially being primed back for main, but instead they look to stand and fight this one together. 3 players all around the same angle, and the damage that's been done isn't quite sufficient just yet. Kayak, though, starting to build into this. Cloud has yet to be cleared. Hiding in the corner, but they're slowly being removed from this site. GX comfortable as they find a 5th round. And again, we talked about this on the first half of the last map. Some of those defensive setups where they like to get aggressive and push together. The timing of their mid push was very, very nice, but then also just leaving Arrow behind. That's what I liked about it.
It's the initiative from GX in this game that has definitely stood out to me. For this squad, I expect there to be so many...
What the timing I got on this Alpha Zero? He took out the scope exactly when I pick him.
I mean, that's exactly what we're saying, Arrow. Very true.
What a timing, I agree.
What a timing indeed. And for Fnatic, look, all it is a bump in the road. A couple of rounds here or there with an 11-5 lead. You have to think eventually they'll find their way back to winning ways, and this probably won't be it. They've got pistols, a bandit, 2 sheriffs, and 2 classics to work with.
Go on. A motor.
Bài round này chắc là tỷ số là 13-7 anh em ạ. I guess.
It definitely has potential, and it looks like a lot of this attack side for Fnatic so far has been around selling false information.
Tôi quảng cáo gì đâu anh em.
GX are buying it in droves.
Cái này là drop anh em ạ. Sắp tới có cái giải LG Tournament anh em nhớ theo dõi ủng hộ nha. Tôi sẽ được đồng hành cùng anh Duy Anh, bình luận viên L, ở vai trò gọi là cố vấn anh em nhé.
And allows one to cross, but there goes Flick.
This
is why he won him on this agent. Yeah, the free operator's cool, but the instant one-shot headshot machine
is
in the hands of Althea.
Still 2 to deal with there. Jesse and Ara have rotated in. Jesse will be pushed back, but guess who won't? Ara on the site. Ult popped. He will stand his ground. Giving nothing up for free. As Fnatic pump the brakes and move to the other side of the map. The TP taken by Boaster. He's made it here. He's got the plant, and he's gotten out. Solid start, but the numbers even with weapons in the hands of GX, the retake, well, they will bide their time. They will wait to strike. There's West Side on the site, waiting for reinforcements, but one battalion is already down. Now they move for the defuse. Boaster, the one that has to stop them, but he's being held. Jesse on it, ready with the swing. The spam is good, and he's already got himself 3. Cloud has no chance of denying this. Damage done, but the round stabilized by GX just in time.
Yeah, just about as well. Incredible work from Jesse to just hold the line. I think you could even see it. I think it was Westside diffusing, right? He just goes, oh, I'm sticking this all the way. You got this, bro. It is terrifying just seeing the headhunter in the hands of Althea. Ara also did well to sort of stop them from just taking over the other side of the map. Even still, a little bit shaky for the defense, but credits-wise, still a purchase into this round. 3 in a row.
Let's play.
But with ults in hand, the tour de force being one of them, this isn't nothing but an easy round for the opponents.
Nice shot from Ara. He'll hold his ground again. Not a man who likes to retreat as the smoke goes up. He just goes deeper into the angle. Keeping that control is so important for GX. It means no second man is needed to cover off a short. Ara's got it on lockdown. And so they stay heavy towards mid. Right where Boaster was looking to put the pressure. Was peeking around this spot moments ago, and indeed he will step into the meat grinder head first. Flickless and Jesse standing by. Jesse's alone as the smoke blocks Flickless. And he doesn't swing in. No trade. Ara now under pressure. Ara deleted and all of a sudden
Ara bắn trên bên đấy thì ok, mình cảm ơn đôi nhỏ.
Flickless is still here though. He's gonna get the reveal.
Hay luôn.
Xin cái mắt boy. Today. In 1v1 fights, he's just not been able to take any of them over the line. And while he mentioned it, that first half coming out from Kayak was a rough one. I think only 3 kills. This second half, he's been looking more on point, but a swing out gives Westside an opportunity.
Mình cảm ơn Ara thôi.
Stop waiting, never mind, they swing individually. They leave it down just to Cloud, but Cloud was enough. He has been enough.
Thành 1v1 được. What the fuck are you guys doing, guys?
Closer than it ever should have been.
He's gone from wearing the GX banner to burning it. Cloud's having a field day, 20-8 at the moment. But this round wasn't just him. Huge work done by Crashies and Kayak to pull them back into this fight, to give them a chance. And it's Cloud to bring it home against his former squad and his former squad mate. 1 round out of 6, that's all that's needed. Fnatic, immediate paranoia, has blinded 3. No info, making it into the hands of Jesse until Kayak's right in his face. Rolling Thunder sent through, but nobody can pounce off the back of it. They needed Jesse to still be alive for that to have any impact. And with him falling so quickly, that's an ultimate thrown into the wind.
Not the start they were looking for. Pipson about to start singing I Want You Back for Good.
Screaming.
He has that one in his locker, trust me. Along with, you know, some of the anime songs that they do for their content. By the way, GX, I love those. I love those. Please keep them coming, especially with Pipson in them. Either way, Fnatic 4 kills away from this series being done. A double up of players being spotted might be enough to deter, but that pushes them into the hands of Westside. Westside been the standout so far in this defensive side. They can section off some of the angles, but he's going forward. He's pushing it towards them. He looks to take over.
Vẫn đều làm bà.
I think he killed one behind the player he was looking at. Kayak, though, wants to try and take the mantle. The best part of the round. He's so desperately low. 28 HP. Aftershock forces him into an awkward position. And well,
phải là 13-7 anh em ơi.
I was going to say from GX, but let's be honest.
Phải là 13-7 đây anh em ạ.
And this is what I'm talking about when I say I love this guy on a Sentinel. Westside is the kind of player that yes, he can perform on the duelist, he can perform in any role, but if I was to choose someone to solo hold a site, if I was to choose someone to have 4 players, 5 players run at him,
It would be
exec,
Alpha,
and be in the middle of it, it probably would be Alpha. But if I couldn't get Alpha because of budget issues, I'd go straight to Westside. This guy is sensational. And having
Phải
him
luôn.
fully focused,
Carter đang bảo là
I think
nếu
is
như tao
only
đéo thể
gonna
mua
see
được
that
Avenger
skill ceiling
thì tao sẽ
increase
mua
in
Westside.
for Fnatic.
Nếu đéo đủ tiền để mua Avenger thì chắc chắn là sẽ mua Westside mà. Cày vãi đồn.
Kayak on top of the walls being spotted now. Oh, the paranoia doesn't get them anything. Instead, they're put to bed immediately. A couple of kills for Alpha, but
Không có 13-7 rồi
he's
anh em
going to
ơi.
need a lot more.
No,
Thankfully, that
13-7.
TP wasn't stuck, or there would have been one more to the tally.
Well, one guy that did have a gun in this round is Alpha. Always a highlight, but not in this round. Ara shuts him out on wall and overdrive.
luôn mà.
The player that's
Cùng
low
đấy.
HP. It couldn't be any easier. I didn't expect to see 8 rounds for GX onto the board, but they have been climbing back in this defensive side. Definitely struggled a lot in that first half. But the further they go, the more worried I get. And I'll be honest, Mitch, we just came back from London. I'm not ready for some more crumble.
God's sake. You know, one thing I'm really enjoying about GX is Ara. This is a player that we've had to have the caveat in almost every match for the last year and a half that like, oh yeah, he's good. But today he might be ass. He goes up and down, game to game, map to map. Sometimes he's a key part of any roster, and other times he's cannon fodder. And I feel like now we're in this era where he's consistent. He has definitely pulled that floor up behind him. 4 more rounds in a row. That was a 4K from Ara to give them a chance to keep them alive. Much more required. Rifles back up for Fnatic, and ultimates to fall back on are certainly shy on the side of GX.
Well, yeah, we were making jokes about an 11-3 comeback. At least, unless many rules were broken. I don't think Mini went into the coaching booth. Although I haven't seen him, so
we can't discount it.
I cannot. That is just rumors.
Có trận nào xuất hiện summit chưa?
They're now 4 rounds
Như là
away.
có rồi mà.
The problem is, you always know that with the caliber of
rồi anh
players
em
on the Fnatic side, somebody could just close this out. The problem, though, is if you're a Fnatic fan, they never make it that easy. 2 entry kills, though, is one hell of a start.
2 mạng mở điểm rồi anh em ơi.
And already putting the pressure onto Flickless, who, as we've highlighted maybe a few too many times, has been having a stink.
Trong vào B.
Yeah, he really has.
Rất Fnatic.
Always a consistent player. One man that has,
30 seconds
if anything, picked up his performance in moments where it's needed as Westside. 5 on the other side. This has to be big for the Sentinel. And it's shaky to start. But Westside, give him enough chances and he will connect. Rounds for the side of GX. That's what they're after. And this man could be the one to deliver them. For now, he has delivered them a chance, a promise yet to be realized. But the 4-piece surely will be enough. Westside again, the hero that GX desperately needed.
My God. I said it when they were in the 5v3. I was like, Fnatic never make it easy for themselves, but how did he not die? Like, he whiffed a load of bullets, then was super clean, but just the trades never came in. Like, that wasn't the cleanest 4K Westside has ever got. No. Someone should have traded him throughout that round. But you keep giving him chances and eventually he will hit the shots.
Thằng chói hack à?
11-3. Fnatic are now at a point where they're calling a pause. And they're losing from pretty hefty advantages. Like, again, they got the advantage in the round prior where they go to run through the market. They run into Westside. I would say option 1, don't run into Westside. Maybe try going A, because if they'd continued A, they would have run into Flickless. And I don't want to be mean, but Flickless is not doing that.
Yeah.
He's not getting a 4K like that.
Watch next round now after you've said that. But no, I 100% agree with you.
He's about to ace every round from now on, and they're going to win in OT.
And it just further adds to the point of, if I was to have one guy who isn't Alpha here defending a site, genuinely in EMEA, I think he's a top 5 for me. West side.
I was about to say, we got so many good Sentinel players that it's really hard.
Top 5 maybe, but
VNO vừa follow nha.
Fantastic, Chronicle.
But the thing for me with the West side is that he doesn't make that many risks. He is a safe player. If you have a problem, you need a good Sentinel who ain't gonna bring extra problems to your roster. He's just that guy. He's willing to flex. He's willing to play whatever the team needs. But if you put him here,
a pro played Waylay for a bit.
Yeah, he'll do anything.
They did that to Yedojay too, and I'm so glad they freed my man from that. Although he's now playing Smokes, which, you know, very good Sentinel player. Foot, just in case you're wondering. Bambino, I'm
better
talking to
smoker than Flickless, at least.
Sure. Yeah.
It was a tough last map. But no, 3 rounds.
Pacific mùa này có bot lắm không á?
It's so
đổi bot đấy.
doable for GX.
Shouldn't be.
Tại sao tôi nghĩ là phôi nên là tôi không xem anh em ạ.
From an 11-3 deficit, it never should have been from so many rounds.
I should be on the train home right now.
I should be ordering food, but here we are. Fnatic struggling to take it across the finish line. Left to an eco here. Likely double digits. Somehow I do feel like this will be the round that they figure it all out.
Well, they've got Tour de Force and Overdrive, so it's like there are a few things that could pad the gap. They've also got Rez if they get into a position to use it, and I always have faith that Althea at any moment might just be like, right, you know what, I'm done with this game, I'm just going to win. So there's potential, but I don't know, it's starting to feel like the same problems they had before, just that little bit choky.
Oh. If at first you don't succeed, try to challenge West side again. That's the play. This time Net's there to help him. They've lost the rotation. Boaster slipping through, threading the needle and using it to help out. Taking one down. West side again stands against the forces of Fnatic. But this time surrounded. He's dealt with. And Alpha's Tour de Force claims another victim. Yeah. You're not getting through that. They know by now. They found Jesse.
Shadows traveling.
And his 1v4 begins and ends here? Question mark? That's not a bad start. He can start the defuse from here. Paranoia is perfect as well. Repositions. It could have been beautiful. A great idea from Jesse. But an
một thẻ đỏ cho Fnatic.
Fnatic.
It definitely wasn't the return to the stage that maybe we were hoping
Chắc chắn
for,
có tội.
Especially versus a team with a stand-in. But a win is a win, and I think that's what you have to look at if you are on the Fnatic side. That okay, they're gonna have to build in if we want to see them be one of the teams that makes it to champions. But they got through what was a GX side that actually looked a lot better than I expected. I'm excited to see the future of Nets calling. I think the West side still looking fantastic. Arrow looks great. Jesse, even as the stand-in, had its moments. So I think that ultimately a decent performance overall from GX considering the circumstances. But you do still look at this from the...
Ok anh em ơi, stream EMEA ngày hôm nay chắc là đến đây thôi anh em ạ. Mình cũng dự tính là nghỉ ngơi tí tầm 3 giờ dậy xem America ấy. Thì, mấy trận America hôm nay có vẻ hấp dẫn hơn. Đấy nha anh em nhá. Hai cái hôm qua em ra có clear được cái nào không hả? Như là chết cái phút 20 hay sao ấy. Hẹn anh em 3 rưỡi sáng coi America nhá. Tí mình ngon nha mọi người. Bye bye mọi người. Chúc mọi người ngủ ngon.